Weird.
We can't all make declarations of hatred at the same time. Hi, everybody.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
你好中国，只叫西呢，我爱更尊重中。Shields up.
Alton, help me up onto his casket so I can dance on it.
I don't care.
But how did you ever find us?
Oh, easy. We just read the screenplay you left us. Glove gold! Glove gold! Glove gold!
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I'll have you. Everything is sexist. Everything is racist. Everything is homophobic. And you have to point it all out.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Huh? Zappuccino.
Hello to all of you wonderful people out there in Tooneytown. My name is Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster, and it is Thursday night in Tooneytown. So that can only mean one thing. That means it is time, or actually, no, it's not Thursday night. That's a force of habit. It's Friday night in Tooneytown, which can only mean one thing. It was Thanksgiving yesterday, so we didn't have a show. Well, we had a show, but it was in the morning, and it didn't count because it was a special. But you guys get what I'm saying. The holiday season is officially kicked off, and we are kicking it off with a very special kind of holiday. And that's why actually this week I'm going to bring out our guest of honor this week because, folks, in the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." And then very soon after, my dear friend was born. Ladies and gentlemen, it's her birthday, it's her party, and she'll cry if she wants to. She is the one, she is the only, but not the only woman on the show this week. She is Trish.
Hi, everybody.
Oh my goodness, what is on your head?
Oh, I didn't tell a single soul.
I was wondering why your camera was off before this.
Oh, yeah, that's why it was off in the lead
Is
up.
that the diadem? Is that Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem?
Yeah. I got to fix it. So once this little intro's over, I might quickly go and fix it.
Well,
but, yeah.
Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank
November 29th. And you don't look a day over 64. So I'm glad that those Social Security checks are going to start coming in. And
me too.
Yeah, I mean it's about time, right? Well, folks, Trish and I go way back to the early 2000s, back in the dark ages. But there's somebody that she goes back with much further than she goes back with me. A good friend who I know can't wait to come in and wish happy birthday to our good friend here. Let's bring him out. It's Kevin Powell looking over the anus of a cat.
Out of my way! Why are you like this? Oh. Sweet cat, please. Anyway, happy birthday, Sammy.
Thank you, not Dean.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I remember Trish telling me with her birthday last year, she got a text from Kevin and it just said, "Happy birthday, you old buzzard."
Yep, that was what it said. Happy birthday, you old buzzard. I never felt more loved.
Yeah, I know. Well, guys, if you guys show the love tonight, I'm giving Trish a percentage of the super chats tonight as a special birthday gift from all of us here at Tooneytown. So let's make it a big night, and maybe we could buy her a piece of pizza or something. I don't know. I actually had some decent pizza today, which is very rare in the Sunshine State. So Yeah, very, very happy about that. But folks, something else I'm happy about is the fact that we've got a good friend and colleague from the world of Lost Media. He co-host of the Lost Guys on That Park Place. And I'm also, he's on That Game Place with myself and many others, some of whom are on this panel. And also his own YouTube channel, The Nolan Thunder Experience, is odd to call it, but it's really just Nolan Thunder. He's Nolan Thunder!
I don't know if I want to know what the Nolan Thunder experience is. That kind of scares me. But I do have to ask, what percentage is going to Trish? Is it just like a cent of what's made? Like,
why do you have to get into particulars, Nolan?
Yeah, it's like asking me my age today.
Yeah, she gets a percentage of the post YouTube cut super chats because YouTube takes a sinful amount of our money.
So thank you in advance, anybody.
Yeah. But also joining us this week, guys, you know him from That Park Place. You know him from The Genre Guys, which he stars with alongside Lou Osman's Ghost and a pissed off armchair. The one and only Lauren Connor. Lauren.
I'm pretty sure that Trish popped up when God said, "Let there be darkness."
He said let there be light, and then he was like, nope, too bright. We need to darken things up a little bit.
You know. I desperately have to fix this thing. Holy cow. Okay, sorry.
It is a Horcrux. It is a Horcrux that you're wearing on your head.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a birthday present. I love it.
Goes to my point.
I said that Trish wasn't the only lady on the show tonight, and that is true because back by popular demand this week, our good friend, the wonderful and talented Jessica Calais Sheffield, the nerd of all trades.
Hi, everyone, and happy birthday, Trish. Tanjobi o medetou de gozaimasu.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know what you just said there, but thank you.
I'm assuming it's happy birthday in Japanese.
It is. One of my Japanese friends is actually watching the show right now.
Oh, nice. Hello to Jess's Japanese friend.
But yeah, thanks so much for inviting me back, guys. I guess I wasn't raw enough. Gotta get meaner. Gotta get more nerdy.
You know, I too have a Japanese friend, or well, I have an Asian friend. So you know, we just like to lump them all together, right? He's the editor-in-chief of Bounding Into Comics. He's the one and only Spencer McCooley.
Trish, happy happy birthday. I'm here to ruin your day. Happy birthday.
Not invited, but crash the party. What don't you believe that he's here?
Yeah. Well, this early.
It's Friday.
I know, but still.
And I canceled my show to be here.
You have a show on Fridays?
Yeah. That's my main show. That's when I have my own live stream.
I didn't know that you did that. Oh, that's very nice of you, Spencer. To be here for Trish's
I wouldn't miss
birthday.
it for Trish.
Oh, thank you.
He's only got so many more years to spend in
I love it. I love it. By the way, somebody who we know we're going to have many more years with as our friend and colleague from the world of That Park Place. Also one of the Lost Guys with Nolan Thunder and with Trish from this last week. The one and only Mr. Martin Stone.
Hey, everybody, and happy birthday, Trish.
Thank you.
You've got a strong panel here. Martin, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was great. Lots of time with the kids, some time with the in-laws, which surprisingly, I have great in-laws.
That's great. I have great in-laws too.
It's always a blessing, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, like I have it's the anti. But my mother-in-law and I were the anti Fred Flintstone situation here because I love my mother-in-law. She's the tiniest little thing too, and I hug her and I pick her up. But she weighs like nothing. But anyway, guys, despite it being Trish's birthday, we have got a lot of news to get through this week. But before that, I actually have a little something I wanted to share, a little something I put together because I saw Wicked this past week. And guys, I have to tell you, the movie was actually really good, despite the antics of the actresses who desperately make me want to hate this film. I can't because it's actually very, very good. So I wanted to bring up something, though. It's a clip that Kevin Apollo made me aware of that I kind of spliced together. So Wicked not only was a Broadway show, but it also played in the West End in London. Yeah, it also played on the night that Queen Elizabeth sadly passed away. And if you know anything, yeah, well, I'm being
America.
But guys, I don't know if you know the way Wicked starts, the first lines out of their mouths. But you know what? You don't need to hear it from me. Let's take a look at the videotape.
That's not in the play, by the way.
As many of you are no doubt aware, Her Majesty.
All right, so they did this little announcement beforehand. This is the night the Queen died.
Good evening. As many of you are no doubt aware, Her Majesty the Queen sadly passed away earlier this afternoon, and we send deepest condolences to her family. Out of respect to Buckingham Palace, all shows are continuing to perform this evening. Therefore, tonight's show will be performed as usual and as written.
That's a weird thing to say.
A few moments later.
Oh, that's awful.
one more time, because you gotta get the stuffy British guy being like, the performance will be done as written, and you're like, why would he say that? That's a weird thing to say. First words. These are the first words out of the cast's mouth.
All shows are continuing to perform this evening. Therefore, tonight's show will be performed as usual and as written.
A few moments later.
Even though the Witch of the West is, oh my god! It's just, I saw that, I anime fell over laughing.
It must have been a big hit in Ireland that weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they were all actually singing it.
Sold out.
Mm-hmm. There were the Irish tweets the week that the Queen died were some of Irish Twitter was one of the best places to be the week that the Queen.
The live footage from the game, like whoa!
Oh, I didn't see that. What happened?
The place erupted in cheers, like arena shaking cheers.
They got a Stone Cold Steve Austin pop. Oh my goodness!
We can't do the Lizzie chant because we'll be demonetized.
Yeah, no, definitely not. All right, let's see. Where do we want to start this week, guys? Do we want to start with you know what? Might as well start with one of the biggest stories going right now, and that is Captain America, or the movie that they're trying to tell you is Captain America. Captain America Brave New World has started fourth round of reshoots. Oh, hold on, that is an ad. Has started its fourth round of reshoots with 3 months left to release. Can this movie possibly make money? With just under 3 months left until it hits theaters, Captain America Brave New World has entered its fourth round of reshoots after reports of yet another disastrous test screening. The saga of this film is a long one, telling the tale of a troubled production that has seen one new title, one new antagonist, and 4 expensive and expansive reshoots ahead of its February 14th release date. Originally dubbed Captain America New World Order, and so sadly changed because, man, Kev, I had so many jokes ready. So many jokes ready for Captain America New World Order, brother, about how it was for life. The film has become something of a Frankenstein's monster after a series of horrific test screenings reportedly led to numerous reshoots. Giancarlo Esposito joining the cast. He was not in it originally. WWE's Seth Rollins either cut from the movie entirely or only appearing in a vastly reduced role. And a budget bloat so massive that many believe production costs ahead of marketing might be nearing $500 million.
I think we're being generous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was 500 before this latest round.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing somewhere between 400 and 500. So, quote, reports that the fourth Cap adventure was set to undergo more reshoots was recently confirmed when star Anthony Mackie was spotted shooting new scenes for the movie in LA, Comic Book News noted in their report. There was speculation that these might simply have been a few minor pickups, but it's starting to sound like they might have been more extensive. Extensive reshoots this close to release from a Marvel film don't bode well for the final product. Marvel films are very VFX heavy, and there might not be enough time to finish the visuals in a convincing way. That's the kind of scenario that gives you Superman's horrific mustache CGI in Justice League. News of the reshoots were first reported by Daniel Rickman and later confirmed by other outlets.
Daniel Rickman.
not that Rickman. Hello, Daniel Rickman. This is Daniel Rickman.
Do you know, like, every day I think of that joke, and I just want to like message all of you, but I know you guys would get annoyed in like 3 days. But I seriously sit there and I go like, Alan, take the chicken out of the fridge.
Take the pork chops out of the freezer to defrost properly. Do not disappoint me.
Yeah, do not disappoint me.
I love it so much. But guys,
I have an Alan Rickman story.
Do you really? Oh, do tell. That this is a reason to take a break from the story and hear your Alan Rickman story.
Seriously.
It's from
Tell the story, Kaylee.
So they were newish on the job and taking a lot of phone calls, and apparently that day they had been messed with by one of their clients who does impersonations. And they had called a few times as different people. So finally, they answer the phone, and it's like, "Hello, this is Alan Rickman. I would like to speak to so and so." And my friend goes, "Oh yeah, very funny other guy."
Oh no!
There's a pause, and he was like, "No, this is actually Alan."
No.
No, this is actually Alan.
Oh my gosh! Oh, it's amazing.
He's a great guy. He was a great guy. He took it really well.
You wouldn't expect him to have a great sense of humor, but apparently he did.
Absolute
By Grabthar's hammer, you will connect this call.
By the Sons of Warvan.
That movie does not get nearly as much love as it should, but more than I expected it to.
Love that film.
Oh,
It's
so
the
good.
perfect not Star Trek movie. It's the perfect.
Could you imagine if they made that movie with the original cast of Star Trek though instead?
It would be like that episode of Family Guy where Stewie teleports all the Next Generation cast in and hangs out with them for a day. We're going to share the pencil topper. How are you going to do that? How are you going to share a pencil topper? I get it on alternating weekends. Like, it would just be that, and it would be incredible.
No, McDonald's still makes McDLT.
Do they serve beer?
I'm just saying they've got all the ingredients for a McDLT.
Yeah.
There was a Futurama episode though that got the original Star Trek cast back together,
and it's one of the best ones.
Oh yeah, the talking
so
heads,
good.
right?
Yeah, the only no they gave them bodies again and everything. The only one they didn't get was Scotty, so they replaced him with Welshie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Welshie. Yeah, Welshie got struck by lightning like immediately. I like when they were trying to make him fight. And Ben is like, "All right, I've been waiting a long time for this, Koenig."
Yeah.
My favorite is when Bender's like, he's like, "If you hate Star Trek, do you still have to stay?" And Walter Koenig goes, "Yeah, I second that question."
Yeah. Yes. Aw.
Oh my goodness. But yes, this Captain America movie, guys. I mean, what must be in this film for them to keep going back and reshooting it?
That's obvious.
Yes.
Yeah. Think of the original title. Think of how the recent election results went, and think of how they were framing this movie before they knew how that was going to go. That's why they're suddenly doing reshoots, because they did not anticipate what was going to happen a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
How many years have we has this movie been being reshot? So you go from the last election to this election, and you're like, oh boy.
Yeah, you can just see all the stuff that came out after the election and how it went sour, like the Jaguar thing. And it's like, oh no, how many of those are in the works percolating that are about to lose their company a lot of money?
Wasn't it supposed to be released at the beginning of this year?
Yeah, I think so. It definitely got
it was
I'm shocked it hasn't gotten
like-
pushed back again.
I thought
It was supposed to be released early last year.
Yes.
Early last year was when its first date was, and then it got pushed back, and then it got pushed back again, and it got pushed back again, and now you can have a happy Valentine's Day.
I mean, I feel like Disney is really getting it 1, 2, 3, 4 punches recently. It's like you look at the Acolyte, which I think was something that they massively did not expect, the audience reaction to that. And now they're getting this and all of the other results. They are finally understanding just how out of touch with the audience they are. And it's got to have them panicking internally. That's why this is why they're shuffling. This is why they're shuffling all the release schedule stuff. It's why they're pulling stuff off the schedule and all kinds of stuff. So,
Lauren, what do they got coming a month after Captain America? Snow White.
Yep. And so I think the investors, you've seen that they have brought in that other individual to be involved in the CEO search. Right now, the investors are finally exerting pressure. And a lot of this, remember, the investors held off on forcing a pivot to fend off Peltz. And Iger made all kinds of promises. Oh, things are going to get so much better. Nothing has gotten better. It's only gotten worse. So now the investors are finally saying, you're not fixing this problem. We will. You are the problem. It's time to pivot. And that's what's beginning to happen. But you've still got 2 to 3 years of this crap in the pipeline, and it's going to take a little while to work it out.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's the thing that we always say, Lauren, concept to creation. If they decide today to change everything, well, we've still got 3 to 4 years worth of content that they filmed with this mindset that still has to come out.
And that's before you consider the internal resistance they're going to come across. It's like the only way you fix this is a bunch of heads have to roll, and they have to roll simultaneously. You actually have to scare the employees into compliance. And then if they try to revolt internally, you've got to continue to cut. It's going to get very bloody and very tense internally for a long time. The rebuild process is going to be very slow.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, I actually have a theory about what they're doing with this, because I think that they are well aware. Here's the thing. Pre any kind of marketing, right? They're already looking at $500 million, right? That means when you factor in marketing budget, when you factor in theater cuts, you're looking at this movie having to break one bill in order to actually make a profit. Only 11 movies in the MCU, and I shouldn't say only 11 movies. 11 movies in the MCU have made $1 billion. Only 3 of them have made $1 billion since Endgame. Now, 2 of those movies were Spider-Man movies, so they don't count. The money went to Sony, and one of them was Deadpool and Wolverine, which was based off of a Fox property. Which, yes, Disney gets that money, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a Marvel Cinematic Universe property. Nothing.
They don't get to take all the credit, and that's exactly what they want.
And this is a company obsessed with credit, right? I mean, this is a company that literally has the #1 streaming show on the face of the planet in Bluey and refuses to acknowledge it because they don't own it. Bluey is giving them 90% retention on their subscriber base because kids love to watch Bluey. But whenever they talk about what the biggest thing on Disney Plus is, it's never Bluey. And Universal, I think, dropped some shade in the parade yesterday because Universal, when the Bluey float came down, made it a point to say the NBC hosts were like, this is the most watched streaming show on the planet with 47 billion minutes watched on Disney Plus. And I was like, oh, Disney don't like that you're saying that.
And don't forget how Disney kind of got their hands slapped when they tried to do the scavenger hunt or the race or whatever it was last year, the Bluey thing, and then suddenly had to pull it because they didn't have the rights. Yeah. It's like, how many entities can actually do that?
Yeah, I think that the theme park rights for Bluey, I think SeaWorld has something Bluey related. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, SeaWorld and Busch Gardens has something Bluey related. But I think that Disney is well aware that they are going to take a bath on this movie. They understand that it's not going to do well. They understand they are not going to make a profit. However, I do think that they believe that what they're doing right now is for the future of the MCU. Right now, it's about making it so that this movie doesn't tank the next 5 movies that come out, that it doesn't tank the next Avengers movie.
I feel like at this point, no matter what they do, it's going to. Nobody is excited for this movie at its base. No amount of makeup on this pig is going to make it look presentable. And if it gets to if it costs like $500 million to make this movie, that means the budget with marketing included at the very least is $1 billion. You're not going to make anywhere close to that. That's going to torpedo the rest of your plans for the MCU, because then somebody up top is going to go, oh, we don't have money anymore for the Marvels 4 or whatever's coming next down the pipeline.
Well, a lot of the plans are changing.
Well, riddle me this, Chief. Do you think that will Disney now throw all the money in the world at Chris Evans to get him to come back? And can they now pivot back after making this big, huge deal that they made a black guy Captain America? Can they pivot back to having our blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white Captain America?
The answer here is twofold. One, I absolutely know that they are probably talking to Chris Evans right now and just backing up a dump truck full of money, like RDJ level money to him, saying, please, please, please come cameo in Secret Wars. So I definitely think we're going to see him. It's got to happen. But in terms of shifting back to Cap, you absolutely could do a shift back from Falcon Cap to Captain America and make it respectful to both characters and make it, emotional and deep and make it worthwhile. The problem is, there's nobody with that talent or that wish to make that kind of story over there at Disney right now. And 2, Disney, we know this, they refuse to take L's. No matter what they do, they will always triple down on a bad idea rather than go, yeah, okay, we did screw that one up. You guys were right. Even if it's that simple, just saying like, yeah, we shouldn't have made Moana 2 or torn down Splash Mountain. Like they will go, no, we should have done that. We're going to do it again. Watch, it's great. You're going to love it this time. So yeah, they're never going to go away from Cap.
I'm going to push back on you, because I think the only way that you can bring the Chris Evans Cap back is if you actually go back and do a World War II story again. But the problem is that in that Captain America, the First Avenger, they already told that story and froze him and put him on ice until the current day. If you try and bring him out after that, the problem is that you're undoing that last dance with Peggy. What possible reason would he have to leave her in the timeline?
In the comics, doesn't he become old again in the comics, and then they de-age him again? So he could have lived that whole life, and then they could easily make him young again.
Listen, it's complicated. It's already baked into the cake. I think the bigger problem is, and it's not so much for Disney, it's for Anthony Mackie. This will potentially destroy his ability to lead a movie for the entirety of his career.
Which sucks. I like Mackie. Like, I genuinely do, but that sucks.
Are they still, I don't remember, are they still doing Armor Wars, or did that get pulled off?
I believe that is still happening.
They don't know what they're doing with that. Every time they've asked Don Cheadle like 5 different times what's happening, and each time he goes, I don't know. And then Marvel keeps coming out going, it's happening. No, we're taking it off the schedule. No, now it's back as a movie. No, it's a TV show again. No, it's a movie for real this time. It's probably never going to happen.
Well, and they've waited so long. They waited so long for Young Avengers. They've had to change the title because they're not young anymore.
Yeah.
I was watching Hawkeye this morning, actually. He was like, let me give this another chance, because I think I may have been a little too hard on it. Even though I liked it, I think I may have been a little hard on it. Yeah. And it's, it's Christmas show. And I was like, Kate Bishop was one of the few newer characters who didn't get a lot of like, oh, you stink. She has been MIA. What a waste of this! Like, what a waste of talent. You could have sprinkled her in anywhere. Even
the thing I loved about Kate Bishop.
But like, I'm sorry, I get Jeremy Renner with her, but it's like they have so many characters that they haven't really done much with. That, like, they should have been sprinkled in here or there to kind of keep them in the in the Marvel fan zeitgeist, and you just have now it's just like so many bombs, so many misdirections, so many misfires. It's all connected, but it's not connected. They just don't know what to do or where to go. And the only movie that's been a bona fide success spent all of its time making fun of the fact that the MCU is broken.
Yeah, But I liked Kate Bishop as a character. I didn't think that they did her a disservice at all. I think the reason why is because she has a genuine, like, she's inspired by Hawkeye. She puts him on a pedestal. He teaches her, and she never has this moment where she's like, "You're a terrible, sorry, sad sack old man, and I'm better than you at everything." And she never like degrades him, from what I remember. I don't remember any moment like that. I just remember that they work together, and she's like the plucky young sidekick, and they never make Hawkeye look like an idiot. He's just a man that cares about his family the whole time. It's kind of the anti The Last Jedi. But I want to hear from Jess actually on this topic, because Jess, you as a military veteran, what do you think has to happen for people to be inspired by Captain America again?
Well, gosh, they've really got to go back to the original Captain America films for one, because everything that's been happening after Civil War has been unwatchable as far as I'm concerned. And I wanted to go back to what Lauren said. Like, Lauren, you've got a great point. How could they do that? They can't. And I'm sitting here going, no, they could absolutely do that, because they've retconned things in the past without people even realizing they were retconning. I think someone even in the chat is like, being respectful to characters. Like,
yeah,
that's the opposite of what they've been doing for the last 8 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shinkayatsu. But yeah, it's been pretty much abysmal, and I did enjoy the first film, and I actually kind of enjoyed Civil War even more, which was weird because I really don't like a lot of modern films. But yeah, everything's been unwatchable since. So unless they return back to putting James Horner in the music and having some sincerity in the writing, they ain't saving it.
Well, I'll say this. If you're going to do another Captain America film, I think the problem with trying to bring him back is you run into the same Luke Skywalker problem that you run into the sequel trilogy. Mm-hmm. I think if you take him away from that last dance, then that ruins his character arc. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that you're going to do it. If you're going to do it, bring Joe Johnston back. That guy bleeds red, white, and blue. He knows the aesthetic of the time period that Cap comes from. He knows how to write that character. So let him lead the project and see where he takes it.
Some of you have heard me say this. I've got a way to do it, and it involves that director too. Captain America and the Rocketeer. Set it in 1968, 1969. Wow. They have to save the Apollo program from the Russians.
That's such a cool idea. That is such a cool idea. But Disney just doubles down, and then it turns into a situation where it's,
how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Nolan Thunder, what's your opinion on this movie? Can it be saved? Do you think the reshoots will end up fixing anything? Do they have enough time to finish the visual effects in a way that will be convincing?
Well, let's see. They've added new scenes. They've added a new title, yet they won't give us a new Captain America. I think this film's going to be dead upon arrival. I don't think it's going to do very well. If we can learn anything from Moana 2 right now, it shows that they're not past, just cobbling films together to hit a good release date. Right. I think there's only so many times this thing can be reshot, unless they're going to keep reshooting it after the film comes out at this point. And even when that happens, there's going to be people clamoring for, there to be a director's cut. I think the film's going to be mediocre by the time it comes out. And the only thing I think it could save it would be Chris Evans. And it's just too late at this point. That would be a PR nightmare. I don't think there's any more characters they could add to add hype for it. I don't think there's any nice effects or memorable scenes. I think it's just dead, and it just represents a bygone era. They bet the farm on politics going a certain way and thinking everyone's going to agree with them. And I think with how things turned out, I don't think it's going to happen.
I tell you how you fix it. I got it. It just came to me. This is what you do in the reshoots. What you do is you reshoot it so that Harrison Ford is playing Captain America, so that it's age appropriate, and you bring Chris Evans in to play General Ross, so he's now the Red Hulk.
You know what's funny? I think even if they brought Chris Evans in for a cameo in this movie, I don't think it's going to get the reaction it would have normally gotten, because they already blew the Chris Evans return pop in Deadpool and Wolverine with the Johnny Storm scene. Trish,
I agree with that, because it was Johnny, not Steve.
Yeah, I know, but it was but when you first saw him, you thought it was Steve, and that was that initial pop. Not me. I had a feeling it was Johnny the whole time. But Trish, you like the Captain America movies. I know that those are some of your favorites in the MCU.
Yeah, which
Do you
is
have
funny
any
because
interest
he's
at
not
all?
one of my favorite people. It's
Well, no, but
ironic.
Bucky is, so that's why.
But
he's
that's
on
not
the
even it.
thumbnail.
Like, I love Iron Man, but I don't really rewatch the Iron Man movies. It's odd. It's this weird dynamic that I have with them. But no, I'm not interested in it at all.
You know, with the Captain America movies, I honestly think it's they just got better and better as they went. Like, I loved the first Avenger. I thought that was a great period piece. I really enjoyed it. And then Winter Soldier came out of nowhere for me because it was so good. It was such a good spy thriller. And it gave you like new looks at it. It was, I liked that it was a Captain America Black Widow team up movie. Introduced the Falcon perfectly, and everybody loved the Falcon, and everybody loved the Falcon up until he picked that shield up. Everyone loved the Falcon up until he couldn't get until they did a whole show about the fact that he couldn't get a loan. The stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. But guys, yeah, that's this movie is destined for failure, and I think they know it. All right, we have some super chats to get to. BPE 592009, no message, but just did send a $10 super chat, and we thank you for your we thank you for your support there. Thank you very much. Nolan Thunder for $4.99. Does Trish get the sombrero that they let people wear at Mexican restaurants on their birthdays? No, she is a Horcrux.
No, that says sombrero. That's some special kind of a birthday thing.
It's a sombrero. That's what.
Not everyone gets
was-
that one.
Something was horribly wrong with my phone when I was trying to send that message. Like every time I did the autocorrect, it kept putting spaces. It was a nightmare.
It's all right, Nolan. I edit your work on that Park Place. I'm aware of it. Oh, I'm kidding. Nolan has a great article. Nolan has a great article up on TPP right now about the Minecraft theme park lands that are coming from the creators of Legoland, and it's a must read. You guys should definitely go check it out.
That just seems like cheating. You shouldn't. That just seems like cheating.
What to be able to get Minecraft?
No, to be like, I've made Legoland, and now you guys should hire me to make Minecraft Land. Like, I'm on to you.
I think they were taking bids from a bunch of people, and they were the ones that got it.
In that
essentially,
case,
yeah.
In that case, those guys are just coasting off of it. Then they're like, we need that contract so we don't have to work that hard again.
Ewan Cumia gifted 1 Toontown TV membership. Thank you very much, Ewan Cumia. We'll enjoy having you here as always. John Williams for $4.99. Happy birthday, Trish. I appreciate that you have yet to kill everyone despite your Australian DNA telling you to do so. What?
I think, if I'm remembering right, it was the parade yesterday, the stream. And I forget the circumstances around it, but something happened. It was like I sounded Australian or something to that effect. I was like,
why? I was there. How did I not know that?
You were, being all posty.
Oh, it was in the live chat. The secondary show that you run in the chat during the actual show.
John probably remembers better than I do.
Yeah.
And hey, don't make fun of me. It's my day to day.
It's okay. You're right. That's terrible of me. I shouldn't have done that. Calais Works, which I believe is Jess.
Thank you.
Jess giving $10 and saying happy birthday, Trish. That's very nice of you, Jess.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
If I could pinch cheeks, I would.
Kendrick Lama for $5 also says happy birthday, Trish. Also, sorry to Lauren for calling you a boomer. You made this Trekkie appreciate Star Wars much more than I ever expected to.
Well, thank you, Kendrick.
I'm going to run a little poll here just because I'm curious. I've always passed for older. How old does the chat think I am? I'm just curious.
That's Lauren, you're playing with fire.
16.
Yeah, we'll see what they say. So let's get to the super chats, and then we'll see what people have said in the live chat, and then we'll go to Lauren for the official tally. Kendrick Lama for $5 says also Trish and Kevin's cat need more internet presence.
Well, this is what I always say. People think that, and then they follow me, and they just get bombarded with random photos of musicians and song lyrics or like musings. It's like literally 99% music. So I don't know how much people would be very interested in that because it's also not modern music. But if there's an audience there, I can reconsider my stance on that.
Liquid Fox for $10 Canadian. Hey guys, I'm not feeling the best today, but I just want to stop by and wish Trish a happy birthday before the meds kick in and I pass out. Happy birthday from Canada, Trish. From Canada.
So sweet.
You get a happy birthday that comes with health care, or what passes for health care up north.
End of life coverage.
Yes. It almost killed Brock Lesnar. So, Toontown TV gifted 5 Toontown TV memberships. That was me. I did that.
That guy's great.
Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to everybody that got those, and we hope you enjoy the early access to content, the members only live stream, and the other special things like Crime and Punishment, which we have to do a new one of. Kevin Apollo's Rants, which we also have to do a new one. Lauren, either there's a cat in your lap or a tentacle just sprouted up out of nowhere.
That's not that kind of show.
Yeah, he doesn't usually get to come in here, but he started yowling outside my door. He's feeling a little neglected, so I decided to let him in.
Well, getting more and more cats out here. Clint for $5 just got my notification. What? Happy birthday, Trish! It's my birthday as well.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Clint!
I don't really meet people with our birthday.
We should
generally.
we should rename this the Clint birthday special.
Just push me out of it.
Yeah, I mean,
it could be the Trish and Clint birthday special. Ampersands exist.
No. I don't like to divide my. I don't like to divide my attention. James T gifted 10 Toontown TV memberships. Thank you so much, James T. That is very generous. Extremely generous. Thank you so much. Tennille89, aka Dislikes Puns, for $2 says, happy birthday, Trish. Insert clever witticism here. And congratulations, Tennille89, on your 10th super chat.
I was going to say 10 super chats for Trish tonight. How nice.
We call Tennille89 Tennille the 10th because there's a glitch that makes every single super chat that Tennille sends their 10th super chat. JPS says Lauren is 12. Also, happy birthday, Trish. All right, let's see what the chat has to say about Lauren's age. Gotta go back here and see when people started answering that question. Let's see. We got you're 8.
He said he was 12, right?
Not as old as I am. 25 going on 30. Lauren is 26. Nobody's really taking this seriously.
Seriously, I think
Chef
62.
Chef Eddie says 54. Jared Markham says 40. Why is this not showing? Come on. Jared Markham says 48. Park Hut says 1. Mex for Life says 50. Yeah. So Lauren, has anybody gotten it right?
Jared's closest.
What did Jared say? Jared said 48.
I just turned 47, and I have a funny, almost R-rated story I can tell you about my age sometime off camera. But
color me intrigued.
Yeah.
Scandalous Lauren stories.
It's not really scandalous. It shows what a naive young boy that I was when I passed for older and didn't understand a proposition that I got. So.
I hope it wasn't for the 21st birthday.
He bought into that timeshare so fast.
You know what, Lauren? I would actually love to hear. Because I didn't get to watch all of you watching the Acolyte for the charity stream that you guys did. I believe you guys raised over $2,500 for charity, which was amazing. You and Culture and Lou and all them guys. But I want to hear, what was your reaction to the Acolyte?
Bad. I did not like it, but I mean, I think people expected me to go on an absolute rage about it. And one of the things that surprised me was that it's safely ignorable. It's in a period of time where nothing really happens, and it's so obviously not related to anything else that you can just safely compartmentalize it and make it go away in your head. To me, it's awful fan fiction that doesn't count. Agatha offended me. The Acolyte was just awful, and I could go, okay, I've seen it. It's nothing, and so I didn't get angry about it. It was mostly just, I guess, fascination that somebody could do their job so poorly.
Yeah. It's so weird with like the little otter guy who I called them at Otter, since we had to give them they them pronouns. Which I just watched them at Otter's Drug Band Christmas the other day, and it was delightful, as always. But it was, man. It's like the definition of bad. I honestly think it's and then at the end when like she's killing when she's killing Jedi Master Squid Games, and he's like, it's okay, and then like the people that were like, he took her agency even then, like fatherhood was the enemy of that show. The whole show was dads are bad, moms are good, dads are bad, and it was not even subtle.
It's just it attempted to undermine everything that the foundation of Star Wars is built on, and it's so awful that it failed in every respect. One of the things that I kept thinking about while watching it, honestly, was the Ewok movies. It's like, those are obviously not canon. They're bad in a totally different way, but they're bad in such a way that when they're brought up in EU books as kind of a sly reference, you kind of laugh and chuckle and go, okay, I can run with that. You could never do that with the Acolyte. The only thing that you can do with it is blot it out of your memory and pretend it didn't exist, just like Lucasfilm is doing.
Yeah, for sure. That's very true. All right, speaking of things that have managed to fail in every conceivable way, brings us to our next story. The Squad
We're
killed the
talking about my
Justice League.
dating life? I didn't agree to that.
The Squad killed the Justice League is now on Steam for $3.49. Can Sweet Baby Bomb go any lower?
Yes,
the
free.
The epic Sweet Baby Ink Bomb. The Squad, we're not allowed to say that word on YouTube, Kill the Justice League is currently 95% off on the Steam store for both the regular and deluxe versions. The standard edition of the game, originally priced at $69.99, is currently offered via the online platform for just $3.49. The digital deluxe edition, originally priced at $99.99, is only $4.99. Customers who want to upgrade a standard edition to a digital deluxe, a content pack priced at $34.99, will just have to pay $1.74. And there you see the slash prices on the Steam store. Even for a Black Friday sale, this is extreme. This latest failure by the Arkhamverse developer Rocksteady lost parent company WB Games an estimated $200 million. The live service game failed to find an audience on any platform, and many blame that on the uninspired gameplay and a narrative that disrespects some of the world's most iconic superheroes while embracing identity politics. And these quality issues all center around one company, Sweet Baby Inc., who has an entire write-up in the credits for this to just show you just how much they were involved. Kill the Justice League was the first major bomb that brought Kim Belair's narrative design company into the light of day, where gamers the world over became aware of its existence. Developers pay this firm top dollar to rework narratives and inject diversity, equity, and inclusion to improve ESG scores, while Belair and her minions in the gaming access journalism industry like to try and downplay their involvement. The company's narrative influence on Kill the Justice League is undeniable. There's even an entire section of the game's credits dedicated to Sweet Baby Inc. seen above. If you want to find the core of the game's narrative issues, look no further than the superhero bios that Sweet Baby Inc. wrote for the League members. The bios are written by members of the Suicide Squad, but there's a stark difference between someone like, say, Green Lantern when compared to Wonder Woman. Green Lantern's bio states, I guess he's a good role model for the kids if you want your kids to grow up to become know-it-all narcs. Now here's what the game says about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. So named, I assume, because one wonders why a woman of her caliber and ancestry would leave paradise to play in the mud with us. In the League, she is a beacon of rational thought paired with profound empathy, of strength and kindness in equal measure. She is a hero, more so than any who surround her. It's subtle, but there's a difference in how the game treats Wonder Woman as opposed to all the male Justice League members.
And that was written by Lex Luthor.
It was. It was. He would never write that about anyone but himself. Wonder Woman's death in the game is treated with reverence, while Captain Boomerang literally urinates on the Flash's corpse. Additionally, Batman, in one of Kevin Conroy's final appearances, the Cape Crusader, is shot in the face by Harley Quinn in an alleyway while she berates him. Simply put, the game was an unmitigated disaster, and now it's finally priced according to its value. And at the time, as you can see, guys, there was a spike. When they started offering the game for like practically nothing, there was a spike here. But they brought it up from less than 100 players worldwide, as it was for that whole week, up to about a peak of 766 players, with still an all-time peak of 13,459. So,
what is a good concurrent gamer number?
More than that. Spencer, what would you say a concurrent gamer number would be, Spencer?
If you want a good for a game of this level with like this budget, this like AAA, everything behind it, you want at least like 30,000 concurrent. That would be
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
12,000 on a bad day, like, and then probably at this point in its life cycle, you'd want it to be at around 7,000, maybe 8,000 daily, because you have all the new content coming out.
Yeah.
So the fact that you barely broached 300, not great.
So what's something like Injustice getting or got?
Somewhere around that. Somewhere around the like.
Well, let me
20,000. Yeah, we can actually look that up. Huh?
Yeah, Injustice Gods, Among Us, concurrent players on Steam. Let's see.
You looking up the first or the second?
The first one.
Yeah, I feel spoiled by playing Dota. There's like at least 200 thou concurrent players.
Yeah, that one had an all-time peak of only 10,262
Dota
players.
doesn't count though, because that's like a Korean Olympic sport right now. So they're like training actively on it.
So yeah, that one didn't do too well on Steam either. It had an all-time concurrent peak of 10,000 players.
Yeah,
So-
but we're pretty old in its life cycle, though.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It started on consoles before coming to Steam. So 10,000.
That's very true.
Like 2 year after release on Steam. That's pretty good.
So, you know what, guys? With this news, I feel like I could finally tell a story that I've been holding on to for a while. The story of the time I met Kim Belair. I was at a convention, and this woman walked up to me, and she was telling me about this game that she was working on, and I said, "How much for this game?" And she said, "I need about $350." Well, it was about that time I realized that Kim Belair was an 8 stories tall crustacean from the Paleolithic era. And I said, "No, Kim Belair, no, you're not getting my $350. We work for our money in this house." If anybody got that reference, I'm really happy.
Yes.
Good Lord, she would not go away.
She wouldn't go. No wonder she won't go away. You keep giving her $350 to play her games, woman.
Well, I just thought it'd be different this time. It had an assassin in his ninjas.
Oh, Spencer, I love you. But guys, man, that might be one of the single greatest gaming failures of all time. 200 million in the hole from that. If it was not for Hogwarts Legacy, I think that WB Games would have gone completely under.
Probably not under, but they'd be in a way worse spot right now. They would have to be admitting defeats, cutting teams, because Mortal Kombat 1 failed, Suicide Squad failed, or Task Force X, sorry, Mama Susan, who, rest in peace. I don't know who's here now anymore, that Indian guy. But yeah, they really haven't had a hit since Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, they have, and that's why I think Hogwarts Legacy 2 has become such a priority for the studio. And
if that thing doesn't smash, they're done.
Oh, for real. And I think it will, because the first game was so well received, and it's very clear that nobody cares about any J.K. Rowling. They could literally have this J.K. Rowling's Hogwarts Legacy 2 and have her face on the box, and it will
be on the CD.
It will still. It should literally be like her popping up on the screen in the beginning to give you a lecture about gender, and nothing will happen because of it. Because nobody cares.
JK.
Yeah.
So she's gonna give you. So she's gonna give you a lecture about gender. So she's gonna be like the Squad did with the other game.
Yes, but in the other direction. No, I just played Hogwarts Legacy again recently, and it's so much fun.
They left money on the table with that game, though. They
They
could have got more.
Well, but
There's
I think
stuff they
it's
could have
planned.
added.
Well, it's planned to be a trilogy, though, isn't it? Like,
But even regardless of that, there's stuff they could have added to this game, this first game, that people.
What would you have added?
Thought. First of all, well, it should have been in the game anyway, honestly. But they should have had something with companions.
yes, like
There's
controlling
parts-
companions.
Yeah, like you can run around with any one of the other students.
Like forming a party.
Yeah. And honestly, the Sebastian storyline got really fleshed out, and it's by far the best thing in the game. But it does make me feel a little bit bad for especially Natty. Like they could have done more with her and Poppy.
Did you ever get to see her actually turn into a gazelle in that? I don't think so, right? because they did this whole thing about how she was an animagus and she turned into a gazelle and she did wandless magic. And I feel like we didn't see any of it.
At the very end, spoilers, by the way, anyone, but she takes a shot for your wizard. She like leaps, and I think she's in the gazelle form there, if I'm remembering right. But I'm not. Don't quote me. I'm not sure about that. I haven't played that far in a while.
John Williams though points out Hermione was black the whole time. I just forgot to write it. J.K. Rowling. Just like Dumbledore was gay the whole time. J.K. Rowling, my favorite thing that she does is when she comes up with lore that nobody asked for.
Like how they went to the bathroom?
Yes, I was literally just about to make that point. Like literally, like everyone's just minding their own business.
I needed to know that. I asked that question.
It just vanishes because of
everybody just minding their own business. And one day on Pottermore, she's just like, by the way, wizards crapped on the floor and it just disappeared. I was like, well, yeah.
But they literally have toilets.
I think
she's talking about like in the back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Like when Hogwarts was founded. Yeah, go ahead, Lauren.
You're thinking too Muggle, Martin. It's if you've got magic, the novelty is what the thing is. You don't need the toilets. You can just it's liberating, really.
But they've got a girl that lives in a toilet. She's dead.
That's why they don't use them, Martin. That would be disrespectful.
That's a great point. It's so creepy. It's so creepy in movies where she's watching Harry take a bath.
I'm like, you're all like living in my head tonight because I was just about to say, like when Harry's in the bathtub and she's like just full on staring at him.
And that actress is like 40 something.
Yeah. She was in Bridget Jones' Diary. Love that movie.
When she got turned into a brick in Doctor Who, and we all knew what was going on with that brick.
With the most uncomfortable ending of all time.
Oh,
we have a relationship, but we make it work. Giggles, giggles, giggles. It's like, oh, you're just a face. You're just a face in the middle of a block.
We know how this works.
This is a kid's show.
None of us want to admit it.
Try not to think about it.
The Clinton special.
Oh man, I couldn't believe that they didn't like reverse that and give them like their bodies back. Like they all just they all died except for her who became a brick. Like
all in all, you're just another brick in the wall.
Oh my goodness. Jess, I would love to hear your opinion on the Squad Kill the Justice League because I know you have to leave us.
Yeah, I'm just again, I'm spoiled. The only games I play have like a hojillion concurrent characters or players at the same time, and I was shocked to see that number. But also at the same time, I remember you guys said, "Man, it's like what, $2 on Steam?" And my first reaction was, "Well, it is the Steam sale, and that is kind of the meme." But good God, 200 mil in the hole is well, I mean, isn't that just a reflection of what we've been talking about? The entire industry has been filled with people who are not creative, people who do not care about anything that they're writing about. They just want to get their own personal fetishes or politics in there. And after however many years, I guess people finally got the message and started going, you know what? I know that I love to pre-order things, but maybe not this time. And it's finally starting to show. Thank goodness.
Yeah, for real.
You're so cool, Jess.
I knew that you were gonna love her.
You guys flatter. Thank you.
Oh well, Jess, we hope you'll join us again next week on Thursday. You are always welcome here. Thank you for tell the people where they can find more about your various projects and what you're up to.
Oh, yes. If you guys are interested in any of the nerdy stuff I talk about, CalayWorks.net is where I put it all online for free. On YouTube, I'm Calais Works. I'm still ongoing with the Work series talking about G Gundam. And actually, gosh, I'd love to talk about more subjects. You guys brought up Mortal Kombat. You brought up Supernatural. And I'm just sitting here going, oh my God, I want to talk about more of this stuff. But thank you so much for having me on. And happy birthday, Trish, again.
Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. I said like it's my house, but thank you.
It's all right. It's one of those. Thank you very much, Jess. We will hopefully see you next week.
See you guys. Bye.
See you. Bye. Yeah, we need to have a Mortal Kombat conversation because so much going on with Mortal Kombat 1, and like now apparently the DLC was canceled or something like that. Spencer, did you hear about that?
Yeah, dude, that's really bad. That
Yeah.
they were gonna plan more story content characters, and they were like,
Nope.
nah, no thanks. We sold
Nope.
too poorly. But that's what happens when you charge $50 for a 6-character, 5-stage, 4-chapter DLC pack for a game that already cost $70.
Yeah.
Get out of my face.
I actually just picked that game up because it was on sale for Black Friday for like less than $20.
I was actually shocked to find out that did not do well at all, considering how well the last batch have done.
Well, you know what? Like, I was very interested in the concept of it.
Mhm.
I was super interested in like this idea that like we're rebooting the universe. Liu Kang
But see,
is
that's
Raiden's
so many people
immortal.
hated it.
Yeah. But now the problem is like they introduced a lot of interesting concepts, and then like toward the end, they had no idea how to end the story, and it just becomes multiverse nonsense.
Well, that's what it's been since Mortal Kombat 9. Every entry, Mortal Kombat 9, 10, 11, and now 1, each one of them does the exact same thing of, we're rebooting the timeline. Here's a new timeline. Oh, we get to the end. We're rebooting it again. We've got like 90 different timelines running around with different
that
multiverses,
explains
and it's
it.
all just nonsense now.
Yep.
I was confused because you're like 9, 10, 11, 1. I'm like, that's not how numbers go. But I guess they rebooted
That's how it is
everything.
in Hollywood naming.
Yeah.
Tell that to Microsoft.
Yeah, it's rough because there was a hard ending. Like, hey, we did it, and of course it's, well, you either pick the bad guy or the good guy, but this is it. This game is done. Brand new world starting next one. And then we kind of immediately ran right into the whole,
They chickened out. They definitely chickened out.
interesting things, but like, it was time to move on.
Let's see. John Williams for $4.99 said, or use it how Carrie Fisher should show unwanted guests to leave by playing the holiday special. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that Star Wars holiday special. This year I might try to make it through the whole thing. That could be a Patreon thing.
I bet we could actually play it on the stream without getting hit with copyright, because I don't think anyone ever claims the holiday special. Am I
Really?
wrong?
They
I don't
used
think
to
so.
torture me with that every year at Christmas at my old workplace. And if you have never seen it,
I've never watched it. I've never watched it the whole way through. I've seen bits and pieces.
Let's make a stream out of it.
It's no worse than other holiday specials. It's just, it seems so bad because it's Star Wars.
I don't know, man. It's like the amount of coke that had to be consumed for this thing to get made. The first half hour. I mean, how much of it did you see?
All of
Was
it.
it-
I
was
will
it
send
really-
you all a link to the Paul Lynde Halloween special with Kiss as the musical guest.
That sounds amazing.
Oh,
I don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
thinking about that one.
My Grand Slam was supposed to be with sausage.
The first 15 minutes of this thing is literally just Wookiees growling at each other with no translation. None.
And B. Arthur.
The hologram fish
I
dances.
don't forget the author.
Yeah, well,
It's
yeah,
the
while,
Star
while,
Wars holiday special.
while the grandfather is seemingly
Watching a dirty movie in the living room.
yeah, I mean, it's it's uncomfortable. It's a little weird. And then you've got B. Arthur and Art Carney popping up. It's like it's just the strangest, most surreal thing. It literally had to be made by people that were on all the drugs, and I understand why George was horrified by it. It's an experience. Carrie Fisher singing.
Yeah.
Luke in about 3 pounds of makeup. Now, granted, that was because
Right
of the
after
car
the
accident,
accident,
but I mean,
But it's still terrifying.
yeah, and Wookiees in robes. It's just, it's all very, very strange.
I
It-
gotta
At
be
least it
honest.
introduced my favorite Star Wars character, Lumpy.
Rumpolumpicus.
You're kind of
Rumble
I was
making
gonna say
it,
Boba Fett.
Both of them.
you're kind of making it sound interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
Like all
okay,
of these
it-
things you're saying, it's like what
It's
is
It
worse
has-
than the sum of its parts.
Yeah. Don't watch it alone. Watch it with a bunch of people.
I wouldn't.
We should
So
Harvey
some of the
totally
guys,
do a stream of it one day.
Harvey Korman, whip, stir, whip, stir. It's
and
know
Harvey
what?
Korman has that barfly on Tatooine too.
yeah.
B. Arthur gets a song.
You know
she
what?
does. She gets a musical number.
we may have to. I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna see if we can get copyright struck for watching it. Because if it's fair game, I'm not saying we'll watch the whole thing in one go, but maybe we'll watch like 5 minutes at a time, like throughout.
I'm telling you, I had a deep-seated desire to see the holiday special because it was the one Star Wars thing that I had never seen, and it's like it was like this holy grail kind of a thing. And then I watched it in slowly increasing horror. It's like people talked about how bad it was, how much George hated it, and it's like, it can't be that bad. And it's just, I mean, you don't know how long 15 minutes is until it's nothing but just Wookiees growling at each other while you can tell what they're saying and what they're thinking and what they're doing, but 15 minutes, no subtitles, nothing. It's just 15 minutes of this, man. I'm telling you, it does things to your brain.
Worse than other CBS holiday specials. They're all that.
I don't know. Remember the lower jaw of Chewbacca's grandpa? How he was all like the whole time. Like the puppetry isn't even that good.
Making a note right now to clip that clip of Lauren doing Wookiees.
Yes, I was scared at the eye a little.
There's a Jefferson Starship dance number in the middle of the thing. It's like, this is just wild.
Lauren, you don't want to light the sky on fire?
I did after watching the show. Let me tell you.
You know what Christmas special I really loved, and it led directly to me trying to watch the Star Wars Christmas special and failing. The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special that came out like 2 years ago. That
one's really actually pretty good. That one was really good. Fun.
I had like a good Christmas special will make you laugh, and it'll maybe get you a little like teary-eyed at the end. And that did it for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to watch the Star Wars Christmas special now. And one of my friends was like, I think it was Kevin. He was like, don't do it. Yeah. He's like, I enjoy the fact that you're happy right now.
I'm remembering my first experience. Hunting it down at a convention. So I had burned it onto so I was like, I was like, yeah, I got the VHS right here. But I also, it's like one of the very first available DVD DVRs. I remember running home, throwing it into the VCR, and being like, "What have I done?"
I spent money on this.
I have just shared the link in the background if you want to go take a look.
Is this the one with the commercials from like the Maryland, DC area stuff? That
it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 45 minutes or something.
Nope.
No. They weren't done with you yet. What they want to do is just melt your brain and just. I'm telling you, it's literally like somebody just taking your love for something and sticking their fingers directly in your brain and doing.
George Lucas claims to have practically nothing to do with it, but that machine that the grandfather uses is the same machine that Robert Duvall uses in THX 1138.
Well, there you go.
George in
Lucas
the comments,
is right there.
Karen Owens said there's a book on making the special called Disturbance of the Force. There's actually also a DVD that's a documentary of it. I actually own it, and I'll probably prep it this December to watch because it's a bit of a story behind that crazy thing.
JPS for $5 said, I learned how to bake from watching the Star Wars holiday special. Whip, stir. Oh, it's amazing.
That part actually does make me laugh. Harvey Korman and the cooking show on Star Wars is actually kind of funny. I like that part.
What about Harvey Korman as the android that keeps breaking down? Is he trying to give instructions on how to assemble a toy? That one's a bit much.
Yeah, the wooden X-wing and all that stuff. Yeah.
So we've started our yearly going through of some Christmas specials. So we did Frosty the other night, and I was like, oh, let's watch Frosty the Snowman. It's only because we had like half an hour to kill, and I was like, hey, 26 minutes. All right, Frosty the Snowman. It's nice and short and to the point. We're watching it, and my wife starts asking me questions while we're watching it, like, oh, why are they doing that? Oh, that's weird. Why did they do that? And I'm like, wait, have you never seen this? She had never seen Frosty the Snowman.
Did she cry at all towards the end? Because that
was she familiar with the song?
She was familiar with the song, yeah. But like she had never seen the Christmas special. And I said, it was one of those moments where I say to her, what the hell did you do as a kid? And she goes, I don't know, not being white. Like,
Kevin, have you seen Frosty?
Well, I attributed to her her parents not being American.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen the Jackie Vernon horror movie called Microwave Massacre?
No.
Featuring the voice
I
of
want to.
That's incredible.
So when you're watching it, you realize that the Frosty voice is just his voice.
Oh no.
And you just sit through this really awful movie as he's killing people with his happy, jovial Frosty the Snowman voice.
Oh no.
Microwave Massacre.
Microwave Massacre. That sounds like a thing that needs to be viewed.
He killed his wife in a drunken rage and somehow turns into a cannibal because of the brand new microwave in his house.
As one does.
Screaming the whole time at the end that he'll be back again someday.
I think we have a new episode of The Lost Guys coming out now.
For real. I guess the happy birthday thing is on the other it's on the wrestling branding.
Hey, Microwave Massacre's on Tubi, guys.
Is it really?
At least
As are most things, because TV's the best service.
What year did it come out?
79.
I was going to say that sounds late 70s, early 80s, all the way.
Can I throw one into the schlock list since we're talking about schlocky stuff?
Sure.
Yeah.
My mom, this was before I was born, she is deathly afraid of snakes. And she tells me about this, I don't know if this was actually a theatrical release or if it was a made-for-TV movie, but it was called was the name of the movie.
No!
It involved this love triangle between this guy who was like some kind of a doctor and some other guy that was interested in this woman that he liked. And so he develops this serum that he convinces this guy that he needs to test on him that's slowly turning him into a snake. That's the premise of the movie, and it's like terrible 70s effects. Go watch the trailer. It's fantastic. It kept my mom up. She couldn't sleep that night. And if you watch the trailer, you'll understand how funny this is.
It's just called. That's so amazing. So
yes.
Here's what if we're talking about schlock. So there was a show that I used to love that I used to watch every single time free Disney Channel came on when I was a kid. And I've gone back to like look at it since, and I'm like, this is the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my life.
Tumble Circus.
You got it.
Oh boy.
Look at that.
I remember this.
Loved this as a kid.
Poor memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Poor memory unlocked. Double Circus. Like I remember like clear as day when Channel 98 would get free Disney Channel. And I found that I remembered that the mangy looking boy cat's name was Sebastian, because it was the first time I'd ever heard that name. And I think the dog's name is Barnaby.
I think that's right.
I can't believe this. I had forgotten about this.
Right?
Is it time to run for the hills?
Oh.
Wasn't one of the characters named Fair Dinkum?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. The only reason I remember the Barnaby thing was because I think I had a stuffed dog named Barnaby at the time.
It was the koala. There's Barnaby. Yep. Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
And the little lion that was the ringmaster, and that's Sebastian the cat. Yeah. Good Lord,
I
man.
can't believe it.
I'm being 1000% sincere when I say this. That theme song was amazing.
Oh yeah. No, it was great. And then they had that, and they had Welcome to Pooh Corner, which was the same thing with Winnie the Pooh.
Kenny Loggins.
I love Pooh Corner.
I was gonna make a Kenny Loggins joke.
You should have known.
We're all spending too much time together. We're all like in each other's heads. Like we all know everything there is to know about like what the other is thinking.
Martin and I know each other's music references. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about an interesting phenomenon that happened in theaters, and then I'll talk about my opinion on the one of these movies that I saw. You know what? No, not yet. Never mind. I changed my mind. I want to talk about some DC stuff first because I always want to talk about Batman when Lauren is around. So we're going to Bounding into Comics for this one. Our good friends over at Bounding by J.B. Augustine. James Gunn confesses neither the Batman Part 2 nor The Brave and the Bold has a script yet.
What?
Well, wholly unwritten movies, Batman, the Cape Crusader, is the most bankable DC character to this day, and yet no one but both of his next cinematic adventures are on hold. DC Studios executive and Superman director James Gunn let it slip in a recent Q&A that neither tentpole film in development featuring The Dark Knight is any closer to ready since he ascended the ranks of overseeing production. One of the Bat family movies in the pipeline is intended as proper DCU canon that connects to Superman and Creature Commandos, and that is The Brave and the Bold. Even though Andy Muschietti is attached to direct it, it can be considered Gunn's pet project as it was announced in the rollout of his division of Warner Bros. Discovery almost 2 years ago. However, throughout all that time, Gunn has yet to see a script that he prefers. There's no set timeline for anything, he told Collider. The one thing that I've tried to make clear to people from the beginning in the way that I hope we're all different is that everything in DC is going to be based on the writers. Gunn praised the Supergirl script by Anna Nogueira, I think that's how you say that, for its wow factor, and the Lantern script turned in by Damon Lindelof, Tom King, and showrunner Chris Mundy. He then teased unnamed pitches nearing the green light and stressed the importance of story, which with The Brave and the Bold apparently hasn't met standards for. Says the co-president, but it's going to be based always on the story, because at the end of the day, if we're happy with the story we're telling, and that's what matters most. And once The Brave and the Bold gets to that point, we'll make the movie. Meanwhile, over in the Matt Reeves camp, and this is the thing that surprised me, which Gunn has full jurisdiction over, there is no progress on the script for the Batman Part 2 either. Even though reports have said otherwise, Gunn shot those down recently as greatly exaggerated. I think that report was well-intentioned, but it was mistaken. We are very much looking forward to it. He responded on Threads to an inquisitive follower, as he often does, and has had to frequently. Gunn is the boss, and the onus is on him to clear up the confusion he bears some blame for. That's a great quote because it's very, very true. Many months away, almost a year have passed since Jim Gordon actor Jeffrey Wright revealed that he was waiting patiently on Part 2 script. I've not read the script. I've not received the script. I'm waiting patiently, he told Variety in March. But I'll tell you what, as soon as I get it, I'll call you. I'll send a copy right over to you on the off chance that Matt Reeves hears this. The hairs in the back of his neck are going to stand up. So you guys, I'm really surprised that the Batman Part 2, I'm not as surprised about The Brave and the Bold, but the Batman Part 2 not having a script yet, that's weird. Especially given how popular the Penguin was.
I'm not shocked about Brave and the Bold. Clearly, they have a lot of their mind and they don't really know what they want to do with it. But the Batman, I thought, should have been a little further along, especially because it's we're going a little bit in between sequels. So like it's weird. DC does this weird thing where they wait so long between sequels that like the property cools down and you're kind of starting from scratch. But I don't get it.
I'm actually not surprised in the least. Do you guys remember the production stories from the first Batman movie and what a nightmare it was behind the scenes getting that thing made? Matt Reeves detested working on that movie, and a lot of it was because he was butting heads with Robert Pattinson so much. And there was all kinds of I
hadn't heard about Robert Pattinson being difficult.
There were all kinds of antics going on behind the scenes. You can go back and read the reports on it. It was a nightmare for production. And honestly, had the movie not done as well as it did, I don't think Matt Reeves would have been interested in doing a sequel. I think it caught everybody by surprise. And I'm betting at this point, because it did well, you've got to come up with a new production deal for all of the actors, because I don't think that they necessarily signed for doing sequels. Remember, the Batman came out of getting Ben Affleck's Batman project canceled. He was going to do the one with Deathstroke. Remember?
Yeah. I was so excited for that movie. It sounded like it was going to be Arkham Origins. Like one night to kill the Bat.
Yeah, and it also sounded like they were going to lean into the detective angle. And unfortunately, I'm not a fan of the Snyderverse in any way.
Good.
But I know Affleck is a fan of Batman, and I know that he wanted to tell a good Batman story. I'm actually sorry that his version didn't get made, because I would have been really interested in seeing what he came up with.
I actually say it all the time. While I despise and detest Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse, I believe that Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck were excellent Superman and Batman. They just had terrible scripts, and they had what was. And look, I say it all the time. Mustache, facial CGI notwithstanding, there were moments in that Justice League movie where you looked at Henry Cavill as Superman, smiling and talking to kids and just laughing, and you were like, "Oh, there's a Superman there somewhere. Like he's there. It's in there underneath all the snarling and smirking and murder. There's a good Superman in there somewhere."
How happy were you when Cavill announced he was going to be Superman again, and that it was going to be all about hope?
I can't talk about it.
Yeah, I was over the moon. I was over the moon. And when he popped in at the end of Black Adam, and he was like, like when he said that line with the Rock and they had that stare down, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I was so excited for it. But like the Rock says the Rock controls DC now, and then that didn't work out too well for anybody.
Oh boy. Yeah, was that a hard
WB?
Yeah.
Didn't WB tell him, yeah, you can announce that you're coming back?
Yeah.
And then he did.
They hired him.
James Gunn was like, LOL. No.
They hired him, and then they hired James Gunn, and James Gunn was like, nah, never mind.
I also think something about Ben Affleck balking on coming back, and Zaslav was just like, forget it. Even Cavill's gone.
I have a feeling that James Gunn, I like what I know. I'm going to commit blasphemy here. We can argue about Guardians of the Galaxy for hours, I'm sure. I like what James Gunn did with Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't feel like he has a handle on whatever's going on at DC. Ever since he's been announced, I feel like it doesn't feel like anybody's running the show over there. And
well, he's different. He differs on what's canon every 2 days.
My sense is that, to me, it feels like there's a growing sense of panic over there. And I don't know if that's real or if that's just me reading into it what I think is going on, but I'm not confident in anything that they are working on right now.
There's got to be some confusion, because you guys remember a while back when they recently came out and they were like, yeah, Wonder Woman 3 is happening after they just said that they were rebooting everything. That makes no sense. There's no communication.
Well, that part of the problem is how you've seen the actors be treated. The the way they treated Gal Gadot was awful. Like, it's absolutely awful. She got it just as awful as Cavill did.
And she was really proud of being Wonder Woman in the same way that Cavill wasn't being Superman.
Yeah.
The Ben Affleck thing, I get. It's, on Monday he doesn't want to do it. Tuesday he's pretty sure he wants to do it. Wednesday he's pretty sure
marrying
that he
J-Lo.
wants to think about it. And then Thursday he's back to marrying J-Lo. So you just don't know what you're gonna get. But they have this really, again, especially on the Warner side, they just have this really it's almost like a fetish for wasting talent. They brilliant casting, people super passionate about being a brand ambassador, and then you just squander all of that goodwill. People will tolerate a bad movie. Listen, I love Roger Moore as James Bond, but not a lot of his Bonds were anything to write home about. But people kept going to them because if you like the actor, you're willing to kind of just punch through it.
Right.
In hopes that you they finally stick the landing. And people would have done that, regardless of whether the Snyder name was attached to it. People kind of understand, okay, we just tell me what I can ignore, and I'm good to go. And all people wanted to see was Henry Cavill. People wanted to see the Trinity do their thing. For all of BVS's faults, the Batman warehouse beatdown is one of the greatest fight scenes in movie freaking history. And then the Doomsday fight is really bleeping cool too. You just got a whole lot of mess and nonsense that surrounds it, but people wanted to see that built into something that they liked. And the fact that especially too, when you saw with the 3 stories that they were kicking around for the Affleck, for the Deathstroke Affleck fight, The three stories that were being mentioned most were absolutely spectacular. Even though I'm a person who's like, Deathstroke is Nightwing's villain, not Batman's. But
yes. I'm not gonna. I won't turn it down to watch Batman and Slade throw down though. Same time.
No, and actually after Origins, I love the idea of those guys going at each other. Because that fight is actually a great fight in that game. And
it's a lot of fun how you have to keep countering all the counters. It's a really, really cool. Trish, what were you about to say?
Well, you know who I feel bad for? Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
Because they revealed him as Deathstroke and he looked freaking cool and he seems like a really
poor guy.
All he
ever wanted was to be Superman.
You know,
like he desperately wanted to be Superman.
He would have been, I think, like a little Henry Cavill-esque in the sense that his enthusiasm for it would have definitely shown when they were doing press. Like he seems not. He's kind of nerdy because he loves Dungeons and Dragons. That's like everyone kind of knows that about him. So he's got that like bent, but he's also just got that. It just comes out of him, the enthusiasm. You just feel that it's genuine, and I just feel really bad for him about that. I mean, whether or not it would have been good is another thing entirely, but they put him in that teaser and it was like, just kidding.
Yeah.
Felt kind of bad.
Well, I mean, it goes on to the the bonfire of all the DC post-credit scenes that led to nothing. The one from the first Captain Marvel, not Captain Marvel, yes, Captain Marvel, but Shazam, the one from the end of Green Lantern when Mark Strong, who I maintain was an excellent Sinestro in a terrible movie, puts on the yellow ring, and we saw
that made me so upset because at the very end I'm like, okay, that looks amazing. I'll give a second one a chance.
Yep,
I'll give them their shot to do it right, and then they said, nah.
But I feel like part of the problem there was that I never bought into Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan. That was totally
no, that was awful.
It's on the same. It's the same level as Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. It's like, what are you guys doing there? This is the most ridiculous casting in the world.
But now, in that post-credit scene, Eisenberg was sort of getting into what Luthor should be.
Yeah, he looked more like him there. He did look more like him there. But that Green Lantern movie, I mean, now they're casting Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. Way, way, way too late for him to be a Lantern. He should have been Hal Jordan back then.
No, I don't think he's a good Hal Jordan at all.
You don't? I think he looks just
I
do
not.
Like I liked him in the animated film when he voiced him.
His voice is fine for him, but I don't think Nathan himself looks like Hal. I think his face is too wide and he's got too big. Hal's got like that slim, pretty boy face.
The other
Fillion's
problem
got that like wide, strong-jawed face. It's not the right casting for him.
The other problem is that, in my opinion, Hal is not a guy who is a jokey, funny guy.
No,
he's straight, and kind of almost a stick in the mud.
Well, and DC can't have that, can they?
No,
but I mean that's why what you want to do, if you're going to do it right, then you bring in both of them. You have Hal against Guy, and have Guy just drive Hal nuts. You can have fun with that, with the contrast.
Glenn Powell would make a good Hal Jordan.
Who would?
Glenn
Powell. I don't agree with that one.
What they try, I like what they tried to do with making Parallax the villain, because they were trying to basically do the finale. They were trying to combine Green Lantern Secret Origin with the ending of Green Lantern Rebirth when they fight Parallax together.
Well,
but the thing that everyone liked about that was that it was all the Lanterns together plus Kilowog. They were doing the oath while they were fighting Parallax. It was earned. This wasn't.
It was also Jeff Johns single-handedly resurrecting Green Lantern from irrelevance.
Yes.
He leaned on the existing lore and built new lore that was deep and wonderful. And that whole storyline with Hal
Blackest Night.
coming back from his merging with the Spectre after being a villain after all of that stuff. Resurrecting that character, making him work, chef's kiss. That was one of the best Green Lantern stories ever told.
Green Lantern Rebirth is probably my favorite comic book of all time. It's so good, to the point when he finally comes back at the end and he's fighting Sinestro again, because they didn't bring during Kyle's entire reign as Green Lantern, they never brought Sinestro back. And I love that one line when Sinestro does come back. Because he never came back after Hal killed him when he became Parallax. Yeah, that one line where Kyle's like, Guy loves to rip on Hal's villains and talk about how like they were nothing, but Sinestro, he never talks about Sinestro. And then like you see it because Sinestro wrecks him. It was Jeff Johns that decided that Parallax was an entity and not just Hal went crazy. It was Jeff Johns who created the different cores, which, oh my God, each of them with their own oath. I mean, and then the Sinestro Corps War, and then Blackest Night. Blackest Night is one of the greatest comics I've ever read in my life. It was fantastic, just unbelievable. And they had that whole thing going that they had like a promotion going with the comics where like each month you would get like a different colored ring from the comic book store, and I loved that too. I had them all.
I have all mine somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, you got John Williams here in the comments saying that Hal Jordan was replaced because DC found him too boring. That's why Kyle was created. And that's
I
true.
like Kyle. I like Kyle.
The thing that made Hal
Kyle's my
interesting,
fave.
though, after that Doomsday storyline was when he went crazy and wanted to resurrect, everybody in his city. And he goes and he kills the other Lanterns and takes their rings because he needs the power. He needs all the power out of the core power battery. And he just... making him a villain and giving him the gray streaks on the side of his hair, that was actually a great heel turn for him, and it made him infinitely more interesting.
I agree.
Yes. Hal's brief run as Parallax before we get into Zero Hour was interesting. He's also I think Parallax is the villain in the Green Lantern Silver Surfer crossover, right? I think
is he?
I can't remember.
I think he is. Kyle and the Surfer.
Yeah, Galactus shows up to eat Apocalypse, and somehow Parallax is responsible for it. But yeah, it was just listen. They poor Hal. The Silver Age is over. It's time for the modern age. But he's not as commanding as John, and he's not goofy like Guy. We try to give him a little humor when they, because now he's friends with Ollie, but it's not working. So we just bump him off and replace him with the kid. And fandom, again, it was just watching him break down is absolutely fascinating. To go from the destruction of Coast City up to Zero, it's awesome. But sometimes some characters have to come back because they never should have been taken out. And Jeff Johns, that was the beauty of Jeff Johns during that era of a DC. He could take a turd and find a way to transform it into a block of gold without discarding what went wrong. He just found a way to explain it away.
Rebirth was a love letter to decades of Green Lantern lore, and that's why it worked. It's like this is a writer pouring out his heart and showing, I'm a fan of this. I'm one of you. This is what you love. We're going to fix this. And he did it.
I loved I was gonna say I loved how he described the Hal, John, and Kyle with or he said Guy is so energetic that his ring is constantly sparking. Kyle's constructs are constantly reworking themselves like a true artist would. Like they're erasing little parts of it and building out new ones. John's are all very architecturally driven. I loved that. He just gave each one of them their own personality, their own powers. And that was the era where Jeff Johns was out to prove so many points when he made the Legion popular. He made the Legion relevant again. Then he did Green Lantern, and then he brought Barry back. I mean, but then all of a sudden he tried to make Kryborg say "booyah," and then all of a sudden he had to be destroyed.
And don't forget too, this is a Johns who was unceremoniously kicked out of Marvel after making the Avengers interesting for the first time in a really long time. But yeah, it's kind of goofy. I always say with the Green Lantern movie, the one thing that it did really well was it introduced the character to kids. There are a lot of kids who walked out of that movie knowing who Hal Jordan was. And let's say if Green Lantern came out before Iron Man, Green Lantern is looked at very differently. I think it falls into the fantastic.
Visually, it was stunning.
Yeah.
They had some great creature designs, and I loved their vision of Oa. And
yeah, it looked cool. I like the way the Guardians looked. I like the way Kilowog looked. I really like the whole scene of him training on Oa with Kilowog and then fighting Sinestro. Like that was amazing. It just wasn't well thought out, I don't think. And Ryan Reynolds was miscast, like you said. I didn't even hate the costume. I didn't hate it because I'm like, the costume should look kind of fakey fake because it's a construct. You know, like that was my take.
I get
on
what
it.
you're saying.
I think
and I
sometimes-
wasn't against the suit forming on him, but I think they just went about it way too wrong. Like I know what you're saying, Marvin, that it should look a little fake, but also remember it's a uniform too. It's supposed to look real. Like they went too far in trying to make it look fantastical real. And honestly, I blame that movie a lot for the MCUification of comic book designs, with all the lines and the attempts to make it look real but not real. And it's just like, oh man.
Well,
Too much CGI.
Like, you've got Jeff Johns, the writer of GoldenEye, someone who studied under Richard Donner, and they crank out a semi-stinker. Because I won't say it's Green Lantern isn't terrible. It just suffers from not being good. or not good enough. I should say. And again, I really think we talked about on here before, especially with comic book movies, there are moments where this movie comes out and you cannot go backwards, like X-Men Spider-Man. Especially if you are, if you're in the 40s, if you're in the 40s club, we survived many 90s comic book movies and comic book adaptations on TV where you're like, what is this? Why is this like this? And then X-Men comes out. Yeah, X-Men comes out. Like, okay, cool. It's a little weird, but I'm here for it. But then Spider-Man comes out, and you're like, holy yes, it doesn't get better than this. And then Spider-Man 2 comes out. And you're like, oh my god.
Then Spider-Man 3 comes out.
Then Spider-Man 3 comes out. And you're like, oh, okay, but then Iron Man comes out.
Yeah.
Iron Man comes out, and then you get Iron Man in the Dark Knight. And listen, even though we like to poop on it, Incredible Hulk is a decent Hulk movie.
I like the Incredible Hulk. You can't say anything bad about that movie to me. I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, it does.
It's why I'm so annoyed. That's why I'm so annoyed that this Captain America movie is essentially a sequel to the Incredible Hulk without the Hulk in it, because it's got Thunderbolt Ross, it's got Liv back as Betty Ross, it's got the leader is the villain in it, and I'm like, this was supposed to be our Incredible Hulk too.
I thought Norton made a better Banner.
I do too.
I do too. I love Edward Norton as
100%
Banner.
agree.
I hate Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. It's not because I hate Mark Ruffalo, even though I do hate Mark Ruffalo, but I just don't think he's a very good. I would have loved to have seen Edward Norton mixing it up with Robert Downey Jr. in the Avengers.
Well, I think the problem is that Mark Ruffalo's too big to be Bruce Banner. That's kind of the point. Is that Edward Norton? You look at him and it's like,
human.
Yeah, it's like that's the fun of it.
Yep, puny Banner.
I can also see Norton say that line, "I'm always angry," with a little more
acting,
to it.
with a little more performance. Yeah, guys. So speaking of superhero movies, we're going back to Bounding right now because rumor Warner Brothers Discovery is unhappy with the Superman trailer. And this is again by J.B. Augustine. And the hype is building around the trailer for James Gunn's Superman movie, which is slated for next summer. Its trailer could drop online at any time, and many expect it to debut in time for Christmas. However, expectations don't necessarily match reality. According to intel from writer, columnist, and filmmaker Dan Marcus, a trailer has been finished and shown to Warner Brothers Discovery execs, yet they were not impressed and allegedly said it could be better. He added, there's a lot of internal pressure for a positive reception to the first look at Gunn's film. I agree with this. After the reaction, the first official reveal of David Cornswet in costume got, this is understandable. He said, I'm really excited for the Superman trailer. From everything I've heard, there is enormous pressure internally from inside Warner Brothers for the trailer to be received well. Apparently, the studio asked for multiple different cuts of the trailer to find the best version. To clarify, since every trailer necessitates multiple cuts, apparently the editor cutting the trailer presented a fairly finalized version to the studio weeks ago. The studio wasn't happy and said, make it better. I wouldn't want to be part of the marketing department over there right now, which was recently gutted. He added in a second post. Comic Book Movie says WBD chairperson Michael DeLuca, who told the editor to make it better when shown a cut of the trailer, but we can't confirm that information. To be clear, we can't totally vouch for Marcus either, so we ask that you take his updates with generous helpings of salt. And despite that, the idea that the studio isn't satisfied and still meddles at the 11th hour is on brand for Warner Brothers. It sure is. Moreover, no one needs to consult the rumor mill to see this. Their track record over the last few years reeks of desperation and fickleness with all the movies they sent to the tax shelter graveyard. Somebody asked James Gunn on Threads, because James Gunn is the only person that still uses Threads. Can we know the progress of the trailer? Is it already finished? And he said, it's not. I worked on it this weekend. So we will see, guys. But the Superman trailer, I mean, guys, there's a lot riding on this Superman movie and the Superman trailer, right? Huge. It's going to have to be huge. It's going to be massive. Because if this fails, the DC universe is done.
Do you have the picture of Clark Kent from this movie handy?
Yes, I do.
Put it up there.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you need to see.
There's Clark Kent. And there's Tony Khan. And there's Clark Kent. And there's Tony Khan. And they look very much alike. And there he is as Superman, which, people didn't like that picture at all.
Nope.
I didn't like it. Kev didn't like it. I don't think anybody here liked it. But again, this is just terrible, guys. I mean, it looks like I hate it so much.
I didn't hate it. I understood what he was going for. I think if he had a different expression on his face, people would have reacted to it just very differently. People are still, all these years later, people are still kind of suffering from Superman Returns. Your brooding beta male Superman, it still stings people, and I don't want to see Boo Boo Face Man, going into battle.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight about Superman Returns.
Oh, really? Are you going to defend it?
There is a lot. There is a lot that works about Superman Returns. There's a lot that works about Superman Returns.
I thought Brandon Routh was great as Superman. I thought he was charming.
Brandon Routh should have definitely gotten his sequel. I feel so bad for him. But having a Superman who just kind of broods in the background and is kind of sort of stalking Lois, but isn't. It just wasn't what people wanted, and it's a sequel to a movie that no one got to see until after the movie came out because we didn't know the Donner Cut was a thing. There's a lot that works about it. Even I don't know if we're allowed to say his name. If we say it too many times, someone might die like Candyman. But Kevin Spacey was a phenomenal Lex Luthor. He
was a phenomenal Gene Hackman Lex Luthor, which is I don't think what people.
No. He was way better than Hackman.
But I'm saying he was playing that he was phenomenal at playing that version of Lex Luthor, which I don't think is what people wanted from Lex Luthor in this movie.
Well,
they didn't want bank robber, greatest criminal mind of our time.
Yeah, but it's that people got to remember too. It's like when you look at Superman when that movie came out, businessman tycoon Lex did not exist yet. That was a machination of John Byrne, and it was because it was a very much so a product of the 80s. That's lifestyles of the rich and famous are showing us rich people in a way we've never seen them before. That's like the original emergence of Trump-esque personalities. So like that Lex can exist. The Silver Age Lex, it was a criminal mastermind, a scientist. He is someone who probably would have cooked up some absurd real estate scheme to do what he did. Like Hackman was Lex. It just he didn't want to be bald. So it works. When you get to Spacey is taking what Hackman did, but he's also taking what we are recognizing from from modern comics, and he's kind of creating his own thing. And again, there's a lot of story that movie tells that they should have made it a point to tell. They should have finished those stories in this movie. The new Krypton, it's just there's a lot to talk about. I would spend hours talking about the movie, but my bigger point is when you see Superman not enjoying being Superman, you kind of feel a certain kind of way. And then yes, we could jump into Man of Steel, and I think Man of Steel in its own right is a brilliant movie that just should have had a very different ending. I'm going to
give you my pitch. I want to give you my pitch.
Go for it.
This is why I worry about them doing a Superman movie, is that they're doing it in the wrong era. They need to do Superman the way that they're planning to do the Fantastic Four. This is a movie that should be taking place in the 60s, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. The thing that makes the 78 Superman work is that you have this dichotomy between rural country life, which is where Clark grows up, and the big city, which is an entirely alien environment. And in that time frame, you have all the excitement about what is happening in science and radiation and space travel and the idea of aliens. I want to see a young Clark go from very rural Kansas to the big city, to Metropolis, where you've got typewriters clacking in the background, and he's at the Daily Planet, and it's like a World's Fair kind of a building. You've got the Art Deco architecture, and you've got people in suits and hats and things, and looking like this is the Fleischer Superman, almost. You have that scientist Lex, and then I want to bring Brainiac on the scene. I want to see Brainiac show up in the 60s at a spacecraft blowing people's minds as this is First Contact. And what does that look like? Give me Brainiac in the 60s and Clark having to cover that as a newsman.
I say we call that.
Go ahead, Martin.
I say we call that movie Man of Tomorrow.
Oh, such a good idea.
There you go.
We were so deprived of getting to see Brainiac on screen. If you look at the Tim Burton concepts of him, it would have been incredible.
I was literally just about to say that, Nolan. Has there ever been a character in a comic book lore that has been slated to be up next in so many movies that never happened as Brainiac?
Sinister Six.
I would see the lizard from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
They teased that for 3 of them. Poor
Yeah,
guy
they
never
did.
got to play it.
But
that's why I wish I was hopeful with Gunn, because I was hoping that he would embrace the super science aspect of DC. The Marvel showed you that you can do it, but DC super science is like Marvel science on super steroids. I want to see a Metropolis that is a World of Tomorrow, Fleischer-esque. It's super duper over the top, so that you can tell that story. Because again, it's like and assuming that they respect the wholesomeness that is rural America, that juxtaposition helps Superman. It helps Clark feel familiar, but helps Superman feel alien, but not too alien, because he's in an environment that he's not used to. And then you give him the problem. And I'm talking let him rescue a plane. You give me a montage where he rescues a plane, then have him fighting some really big freaking robots. Let's just do all the stuff. Let's do all the fun stuff, and then get to the problem. Get to the main heel of the movie.
See, this is where I'm kind of thinking like the Fleischer cartoons, because what you do is you do Superman, but you do it via what was his name? Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. Give it that kind of a vibe,
Yeah, I like that. John Williams said for $4.99, apparently the Superman picture was actually the actor putting on the suit and they photoshopped it. I hope that's not the case, because that's really dumb if that's what they did. But we're talking about Superman Returns. My favorite scene in Superman Returns is the scene where he saves the plane. It's fantastic. And you can't watch that scene and not get chills when he flies through when the wing breaks off the plane and he flies through it and he catches it at the end and he goes into the plane and he does the whole, statistically speaking, it's still the safest way to travel. Like, it's perfect Superman. And we also learned, by the way, how good of a Superman Brandon Routh could have been if you watched the Crisis on Infinite Earths that the CW did. Because Brandon Routh got to play basically that version of Superman again, even with the Kingdom Come suit on, and he was fantastic.
It was a love letter to the Christopher Reeve Superman. And by the way, did that documentary come out yet?
I don't think it
Yeah,
did.
it did. Like,
it did. Yeah, and it was like the #1 rated thing for DC in like forever.
Has anybody seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Well, we got to do that.
Not.
Yeah, we should watch it before next week and report back on it. By the way, somebody brought up something, and because it's Trish's birthday, I actually wanted to highlight it. Where
Don't mind
is
me.
it?
I'm
Where
just
is
putting
it?
on some hand lotion.
It's okay. You do that. You gotta
Don't forget to put
time
it
of
back in the
year.
basket when you're done.
Very good, Martin. So I can't find the comment, but somebody asked if anyone here has seen or read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
I have it because I got it at a Goodwill for $2, and I'm a completionist. But I can't bring myself to read it. No, I can't bring myself to read it.
It's pretty.
I've seen I've read like chunks of it. Do you know what I mean?
read
Like I haven't sat and read it.
What did you think of it, Martin?
I thought it was okay. Not crazy about it. I thought Harry's son was a bit obnoxious myself. But then again, kids can be. So
I was good with the first like 25% of it. I thought the concept of Harry Potter's son ends up in Slytherin, and his Ron Weasley is Draco Malfoy's son.
Like that's the one thing I like.
I was like, this is
Scorpius.
really interesting. Let's see where then everything turned into Cedric Diggory and the Time Turner and
Don't get me
Voldemort having a
started.
daughter, and it was
the whole. I'm not even gonna get to it.
the idea that Cedric Diggory would become a Death Eater because Harry beat him in
well, no, because they humiliated him.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, Cedric was such a gracious, nice person that it's like very hard for me to believe that.
I'm reading The Goblet of Fire right now, which, it's funny. Like I just finished Prisoner of Azkaban on the way to my uncle's last night. We were listening to it in the car, and then we started Goblet of Fire, and Prisoner of Azkaban as an audiobook is like 9 hours long. Goblet of Fire is 20 hours.
Yeah, it leaps.
Yeah.
Between 3 and 4.
And oh my goodness, she was a chatty Cathy in this one.
Just wait for the one after Goblet of Fire.
Oh, I know. I know. It's gonna be like 30 hours. Oh man, it was. I cannot get over how much better Prisoner of Azkaban.
I was gonna say, you messaged me. You're like, they took a hatchet to this book to make that.
The
movie.
book is so much better than that movie. Because I don't like that movie. It's my least favorite of the movies.
I love the movie.
Worse than Order of the Phoenix?
So much.
Oh, I love Order of the Phoenix. How dare you?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, because
actually my favorite.
I'm legitimately offended, Nolan.
It's just because of the villain, honestly, for me. Like, she doesn't do it for me. I find.
Oh, she's
I find her
the most
annoying.
heinous. She's the most heinous villain ever made in literature. Like, I had never gotten as angry at a fictional character as I got the first time I read The Order of the Phoenix.
Exactly. And the thing is, like,
hate her more than Voldemort.
now the moment she's gone, I start loving the movie again. It's like, it's not that it's necessarily a bad movie. I just think it's the weakest Harry Potter because she just drives me crazy throughout the whole thing. She plays her part extremely well.
Yeah.
It's just that she's annoying.
She's supposed to
Shot through the heart, Nolan, and you're to blame. It's your fault that I feel like this right now. That is my favorite.
I ruined her
movie of all
birthday.
time.
Sorry, guys.
I love that people hate Umbridge so much that it like eclipses Voldemort.
Yeah,
because
100%.
Umbridge is a bureaucrat. People hate bureaucrats so much they're willing to go with I don't know, magic Austrian painter instead of bureaucrat.
It's not beyond the realm of possibility that Umbridge could have actually taught Tom Riddle.
Is he younger because he was like post-war, right?
Yeah. So Tom Riddle, Voldemort, when he dies, I think is in his 70s.
I think he's 70. I think if I have my facts right.
So I don't think that timeline would work out. I think Umbridge is probably in her 50s.
Although the actress is like just brilliant. I can't imagine another person being that. You know, when we talk about casting, low key, I think that's going to be a hard one.
Yeah,
very much.
You're
agreed.
right.
It's going to be difficult to find a lady who looks like a frog.
That was the other thing, is that she doesn't look like, in the book she looks like a frog. Like she does not look
penis in the book.
Yeah. She is. J.K. Rowling is very unkind to fat people in her books.
I assure you, it is not difficult to find a lady that looks like a frog.
I was reading, when I'm reading Goblet of Fire, when she describes Dudley as being the size of a young killer whale. Like, there's just so much time spent about just how fat Dudley is. To the point where, like, if they really want to make this accurate, they need to put somebody in a fat suit, because they're not going to find somebody round enough to be Dudley.
Do you remember, however many streams ago, when we were like, oh, what's something they could put in the series that they cut out in the movies? Dudley shaking Harry's hand before they leave.
Yes.
That is, they filmed it, and it's not in the movie.
I can't believe it's
criminal. It's absolutely criminal.
Cutting the Dursleys out of book 4 entirely. Yeah, because I like the Dursley stuff in the 4th book where he's holding Sirius over their head, like, you know.
Oh, my godfather!
My godfather's not going to like hearing about this. Pigwidgeon. We never saw Pigwidgeon in the.
Oh, you know, we never got to see the Weasleys all pile into the Dursleys' house through the
Yeah, because they like temporarily made a flu network and that.
Yeah. How about, I just read that scene today. How about the fact that in the 6th book, the 6th movie, we never saw Dumbledore come to Privet Drive.
Oh yeah.
They did that whole thing where, like, Harry like meets that girl in the coffee shop, and then he sees Dumbledore and he has to stand up the girl on his date. But in the 6th book, Dumbledore actually shows up at Privet Drive and interacts with the Dursleys.
What? Because I have like a memory of a scene of him sitting down and like going. And was that my brain making that up?
That was your brain. He's not in Privet Drive ever. Or he's not inside the house ever. Like in the books, he actually sits down with the Dursleys and they interact with him. It's very, very interesting.
Vivid in my mind, but I mean, I'll go with you.
Which should have been the first sign in that book that he was going down, because he's in that book more than he's in any
he's
other.
So
one.
Great in that scene in the book. He's so like, you really, it's impolite not to drink.
we never get the scene. We never get the scene. I think it's in book 5 when Aunt Petunia gets the howler. When she tries to kick Harry out.
Yeah, I know. See, that's
and she gets the howler from Dumbledore.
This story, sometimes I'm like, what book was that in again? But I do know what you're talking about, because he's like, it was basically like, remember what we talked about, and she was just like, we can't kick him out.
Yeah, remember your promise to me.
What? Yeah,
Marvin, since you read Cursed Child, I was reading, when I read that, I looked up some stuff online. There are people who think that Aunt Petunia removes herself from the mortal coil. Did you get that from the book at all? Because I did.
No, I did not.
Man, people's imaginations.
Yeah,
I've never heard that before, but like, all right, a little dark.
I put that up there with everybody that thinks Harry was in love with Cedric. So
never heard that one either.
Oh, that one's big. That one's big.
The one that I always hear. The one that I always hear is Wolfstar over there, or whatever they were calling it, with Sirius and Remus. That's the one I always hear about.
Oh gosh. Well, guys, I do want to talk a little bit about the interesting box office that happened this past weekend. So Wicked won the domestic box office big time, but loses to Gladiator 2 internationally. I thought that was very interesting. Wicked and Gladiator 2 both soared at the box office this weekend with some fascinating results, both domestically and worldwide. Many are comparing the apparent success of both films to the Barbenheimer phenomenon of summer 2023 that saw both Barbie and Oppenheimer achieve critical and commercial success at the same time. That's why so many are calling this clash Glicked. And yes, I just moved through a typo that I saw that I made where I said 2003.
That's how you do it, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Chief. Just keep on trucking.
Yep. Scrolled past that real fast, but I knew Spencer saw it. And so I was like, While Wicked easily took the top box office spot domestically, it lost out to Gladiator 2 in the international box office, demonstrating a disconnect between U.S. and foreign markets. What makes this even more interesting is that while the film opened in the U.S. this week, Gladiator 2 was in its second weekend internationally and still managed to upend the Broadway musical adaptation. That's not to discount what Wicked accomplished this weekend. The film saw a massive $164.2 million global take at the box office. That includes $114 million in North America and $50.1 million from overseas markets. Wicked also hasn't opened yet in major markets like Japan and China. However, given its subject matter, it's questionable whether the Chinese market will support the film. This was the biggest opening ever for a movie based on a Broadway show and the fifth biggest opening for a musical ever. Gladiator 2 pulled in $106 million that weekend, with $55.5 million domestically and $50.5 million internationally. But it erupted onto the scene last weekend with an international take of $87 million before performing strong during the week, which brought it up to counting the week leading up to it, brought it up to $221 million. But there are a few factors to note. For starters, Wicked Part 1 apparently cost the studio, they're saying, $150 million to make, though Valiant was surmising that that's not the real number. Especially given the massive, that's $150 million before press, and they did a massive press tour for this. So in a single weekend, the film made its production budget back, but that does not make the movie profitable. When you factor in the movie's massive press tour and ad campaign, along with theater cuts of sales, Wicked will need to hang on to its momentum for several weeks to achieve profitability. But on the other side of the coin, Ridley Scott's Gladiator 2 had a bloated budget of, get this, $250 million. In 2 weekends, the film has not made that money back yet, and while it had a similar promotional tour that cost Paramount, a smaller promotional tour that cost Paramount around $100 million, there's still a lot of ground to cover if it is any hope of making its money back. Now, guys, another thing happened last weekend called Moana 2, or happening this week called Moana 2, that is going to upset that box office a little bit. I think that's going to eat into Wicked's profits more than it's going to eat into Gladiators. But Kev, you've got younger daughters. Are they interested in Moana 2 at all?
No, not even a little bit.
Okay.
Reagan wanted to see it, right? But only if it was on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I have heard. I mean, it's not all reports are it's terrible. It's visually stunning, was what I heard. Visually stunning.
My daughter's got a friend named Reagan, and I've never met her dad.
I doubt it's Kevin Apollo. That would be funny though. But yeah, I found it interesting that Gladiator won in the overseas market. Now I'll give you my little review of Wicked. The film was fantastic. I'm a fan of the Broadway show. I saw it twice on Broadway. Loved it. I love the Idina Menzel version with Kristen Chenoweth. The movie was fun. It was visually stunning. All of the sets and like all the little things that they did to kind of bring Oz to life were very, very well done. The queen of this movie, though, is Ariana Grande. My word.
Good. That makes me happy.
She was so good in this that I'm like, she's got to do more movies. Cynthia Erivo was good. Don't get me wrong. And trust me, if there was a way to hate Cynthia Erivo in this movie, I would have found it, because I just can't stand her as a human being. But she was very good in it. I will say a lot of times when she was singing, though, she was trying to pop star it up. Like she kept trying to like add little like poppy things in there, and that doesn't work with Elphaba. But it was funny because the Broadway star was trying to sing like a pop star, and the pop star, Ariana Grande, did a phenomenal Broadway style performance.
She learned from Ethan Slater.
The guy that she stole.
Yep.
By the way, Cynthia Erivo and her partner or wife or whoever, I don't know if they're married or not, she stole her too. So both of them are home wreckers.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh,
yeah.
There's a whole Twitter drama angle with that, Trish. Like, I feel like you would love it. Just
I probably would, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Love me some drama.
Yeah, but guys, it's very good. It deserves the money that it's making. Here's my thing. The second movie is unless they do something drastic, the second movie is going to be a gross disappointment, because all the big songs are in Act 1. There's one big show-stopping song in Act 2. That's it. Act 2 is infinitely shorter. I don't know. They might have to like actually insert some Wizard of Oz stuff into it because I don't know what they're gonna do. Act 2 is not Act 1. It's very much the third act of the story, and it feels like it, and it's quick, and it doesn't have any big songs. Other than No Good Deed is the one big song that leaves you kind of speechless. But other than that, there's not a lot of big stuff that goes on.
I should be so into seeing this because I love The Wizard of Oz. It's one of my absolute favorite movies, but I have no interest. And the only thing I can think of, it's not like an angry thing. I just have like no interest. I think it's because I don't want to have sympathy at all for the Wicked Witch of the West. Like, just have her be bad. Like, I don't need any kind of like backstory on her. You know what I mean?
The original story still does, which is what I really like about the original story, is that it shows that Elphaba gets she does get screwed over by the wizard, but she also makes the worst decisions after that. Like
everything blows up in her face. Yeah.
She gets screwed over, and then she does like the neo-lib kid thing on Twitter, right? Like, oh, you insulted me or whatever, I'm just gonna blow up everything. And so she just kind of throws a tantrum, and you go, yeah, you are an evil witch of the West.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of No Good Deed. I mean, my favorite line in No Good Deed is one question haunts and hurts, too much to mention. Was I really seeking good or just seeking attention? And it's I like Wicked as a show. I just wish I liked the people that were in it. I don't mind Ariana Grande, despite
I love Ariana Grande as a pop star. Like, I really like her music.
She needs to enunciate more when she sings, though.
She also needs a sandwich.
No, she does.
She does, because she does have a great voice, but it's like
she found a interesting mix somewhere between herself and Kristen Chenoweth. And it makes sense because Ariana Grande, and a lot of people don't realize this, is a brilliant impressionist.
Oh, is she really?
Oh my
she's
gosh.
super talented. She got started on Broadway. Like, that's where she's from. She knows how to do this stuff.
She she does impressions of other musicians a lot. And it's really, really good. Hold on. I'm gonna pull something up.
Something insert joke about how Ariana Grande always looks like a different race during every album tour. Something. I don't have a joke ready to go. You guys all know it's there. Put it together yourself.
It's there somewhere, Spencer. I appreciate what you're trying to do.
I just know that there's a line in 7 Rings that she sings, which is, "You like my hair, G thinks just bought it." And I laugh every time I hear it. Like, G thinks I just bought my hair. I laugh every time.
Okay,
I was gonna make a joke about her playing gender swapped Jack Skellington.
So
for sure.
God, Martin.
She looks like she needs to eat a sandwich. My goodness. But
I don't like to say that about people, but she is a little alarmingly thin to me.
I mean, like her face is so gaunt right now, like on the press tour.
And I've seen her. Like, this isn't like, oh, she's just always kind of small frames and thin. No, like she's. So I look at her and I'm a little bit like.
So listen to this. I apologize in advance because this is a Jimmy Fallon clip, but I will fast forward. I will fast forward through the Jimmy Fallon parts. Okay. Nobody hates Jimmy Fallon more than me. So
maybe God.
The talent, please. All right. So let's see. They're doing like so she's got to do Britney Spears singing "Mary Had a Little Lamb."
Spears, who we all know, and Mary Had a Little Lamb, which is pretty. Yeah. So
here we go.
Can we give her a little music here for Britney Spears?
They're pretending that this is off the top of her head, but it's definitely rehearsed.
Oh wow.
That's dead on.
Wow.
That's a girl who's earned her talent. Like, she wasn't just put there because of the attributes. She is wicked.
I really like her.
Okay. Well, now listen to this one. Christina Aguilera does Wheels on the Bus.
Christina Aguilera doing the Wheels on the Bus. Christina Aguilera doing the Wheels on the Bus.
Here we go. It's dead on.
Yeah, dude.
Like that's dead on.
I'm like in awe. I'm in legitimate awe.
She's earned a lot of respect from me tonight.
Oh, just wait. The best one is yet to come. She's even got like the growl that she's got.
Yeah.
It's so dead on, and it's so different from the Britney impression. All right, we go fast forward through Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Kimmel. Same thing.
Oh my God, Ariana. Oh my God, can you do another?
All right, what we got? Celine Dion doing "I Can't Feel My Face."
It's a double. Can't feel my face.
Why is she squinting like that?
I don't know.
She's trying to read the teleprompter.
Yeah.
Do it. So don't do
Girl,
the same
get up.
thing. You
Pair
gotta
of
go higher
glasses.
key.
Listen to her, Celine Dion.
Celine would want it. Yeah.
You get a pair of glasses.
I do have a pair.
Is that right? Is that right?
Come on. She's even doing like her face even looks like her at that point. Okay, yeah, no, we're gonna stop
Jimmy
that.
Fallon. Ugh. Well, you know what it is, actually? It's the inflection. She gets everybody's little idiosyncrasies and things down.
And that is what a good impressionist does. Like I've always said with impressions, it doesn't so much matter whether you get the tone of voice correct, you have to get the cadence correct.
And you got to get all those little ticks, like the maybe they leave off the last like sound of a vowel, or they get like I forget, one of us said it, like Christina Aguilera has that growl. You got to get that stuff, not just the sound.
Here's another Ariana Grande impression. This is not a singing impression; it's a speaking impression. Never mind the not funny guy from SNL.
Any impression? You know what I'm talking about?
Ron's been splashed. That?
Been splashed?
Hurry! Ron's been splashed. Ariana Grande.
A dead on Hermione Granger impersonation.
Wow.
Splashed.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, she's very, very talented, and it shows in this.
Jennifer Coolidge one.
What was that?
Play the Jennifer Coolidge one. He said,
Oh,
I've never seen it.
I never saw that one. Hold on, let me find it. Ariana Grande, Jennifer Cool. Oh wow, that lit right up.
Can she do an impersonation of Alan Rickman though?
Jennifer Coolidge in Legally Blonde. Oh, it's another Jimmy Fallon.
Bend and snap.
Man, I'm trying to see if there's another version where it's like not Jimmy Fallon. But no, I guess we'll just have to suffer through Jimmy Fallon again.
Ugh.
I hate him so much. All right, hold on. Let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna try for the most replayed
Ooh,
part of
she
this.
has roots. Need to touch up her hair.
How did you figure out that you could do her? I know now and then you have these random impressions, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, Best in Show is one of my favorite movies, and Legally Blonde. I mean, you know. But
give us a little
sure.
taste.
God, you look like the 4th of July.
Whoa!
I know you didn't get the punch up and just do it anyway.
Taking the dog, dumbass.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was really good. Like legitimately, that was really good.
She's a really good impressionist. She is she overshadows Cynthia Erivo infinitely in this film. Which I was very happy to see because I detest Cynthia Erivo.
Can we discuss Cynthia Erivo for a second?
No. Next subject.
Sure, go ahead.
Steamulu. Move on to Steamulu then.
No, she is from Cobra Law. She's a reptile woman. She is not a real person.
I would believe
Humans
it.
don't look like that.
No, I'm right there with you, man. It's genuinely creepy looking at her.
I don't understand this.
When she was talking about the like this press tour has been terrible. Every 2 seconds,
They're really holding space with that, Marvin.
They're groping they grope each other, and Ariana Grande sits there and she's just like, I think the toadstools in Oz are gay. And then Cynthia Erivo will be like, I realized while we were doing this that I'm black and I feel so beautiful. And I'm just like, what?
I like how you have her basically like, come no.
Do you realize 20 years ago that would have been a Mad TV skit that we would have been looking at?
Dude, she looks like Deborah Wilson doing a character.
Lauren, what are you saying, Lauren?
Kevin unlocked something for me.
Okay.
She's gender swapped Thulsa Doom.
Oh no.
All right.
It's the weirdest press tour ever. And she was just like, I just came to love myself so much more. And I was like, no, you didn't. Because it is physically impossible for a human being to love themselves more than you already loved yourself.
See, that qualification of human is important because Simu Liu is not human, but he loves himself more than anybody here.
The reaction to her about being told about, oh, people really love defying gravity. I didn't know that. I'm like, okay, calm down.
Yeah, no, seriously. That's my entire thing with this entire press tour. It's calm down. Like, chill the fuck out. Like,
she has had like literally they hold hands like they'll link their index fingers.
That's what I was going.
And Ariana Grande is like just trying to like rub into her skin. Like she's just like trying to like through friction like dig down to the bone with how she caress. Like it is. Kevin's cat is less touch starved than Ariana Grande with the way that cat is constantly in his face. She is just all over this woman constantly, and Cynthia Erivo has got Lady Deathstrike claws. And I'm like, how do you do anything? How do you text? How do you answer a phone? How do you type? Like, what happens in your life with these enormous nails? And she was all over the parade yesterday too.
So could we pitch a movie that has Cynthia Erivo and Simu Liu in the same picture?
Oh, Spencer and I would not. Spencer and I would
I will commit an act against Hollywood. Let's just leave it there.
I've got one.
Oh, God.
With those giant nails, a remake of Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, jeez.
You are not touching that movie. No. I will come and hunt everybody down who's involved in that. No.
Oh my goodness! By the way, and what John is saying here in the chat, he goes, "Weirdos have taken that hand-holding thing and gone like it's some weird Hollywood devil symbol." No, it's not. It's just two women being overly affectionate. Like, just like I don't understand like what they're doing. They brought they just did an interview where it was them with Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth.
Can you say Travolta, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, and the wickedly talented Adele Dazeem.
Oh, I laugh every time at that, without fail.
In what universe?
The way he says like this pause, where he's like, "I'm about to say this wrong," and then he still says it wrong,
and he commits.
Yeah. So funny. And then I saw like later on they did like playbills for her and like joking around. They put like Adele Dazeem for her and then like the other people in like the play. I just laughed really hard. She has a good sense of humor about it.
If SNL was still funny, they could do a skit. They could do a skit on this that is like secretly they're both in like a Masonic lodge, and this is the most complicated secret handshake in history.
Spencer, you're saying something very interesting in the private chat. I don't think it's too much for YouTube as long as you're gentle about it.
Yeah, no, that's why I wanted to run it by you before I said it.
No, I think that's fair game.
Yeah. So
I will say, I as a woman feel like it could go a little differently, but
don't worry. I'm gonna. You know me. I will try to be as tactful as I can here, and if I do slip up and say anything,
you're probably the one person on this panel that I would trust with this.
Well, everybody buckle up for that endorsement. But okay, so sort of to the point about not only Cynthia and Ariana's really touchy behavior, but also to them looking sort of like skeletons. Their behavior in all of these interviews where they are very, very quick to be touchy-feely, very gentle with their touchy-feeliness, and where they are sort of taking everything way more emotionally than it should be. It's very, very reflective of how two individuals who are both in the throes of an eating disorder will act in public to support each other. And I mean support in the actual like definition of it. I'm not saying it's good or they should be doing it, but like that's their quote unquote supporting each other like that. And so that's why you see those very, very weird little finger touches, right? Because I think that's probably what got all of us is like, why are you not just like touching her hand? Why are you rubbing her finger with one finger? It's those very small, subtle, like, I'm here, like, don't worry, like, I'm still here, but I'm not going to override you. And so,
and you know what? And if that's the case, then I'm glad they're doing it for each other. If there is something like that going on, but we obviously we don't know. We don't know.
Marvin,
we couldn't know.
Marvin, hold on. No, you don't want to say that because let me clarify.
It's not a good thing.
It's not them helping each other through it. It's helping each other
continue to do it.
Yeah. They're online
that's how I took it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it was the other way, I think they would be talking about it if it was the other way, because that's sort of that would get you interview cred.
I want to touch on what John's saying here, because he goes, I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to hype this movie up by making it this revolutionary thing. That's the other thing. I'm like, can you stop talking about this movie like it's the Million Man March?
Or like it's the first musical ever made.
Like it's a good movie.
Angry.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be a cultural pivot point for the entire human race.
Well, that's what. For those of you out there who follow her, Steph Annie, my nerdy home. She's in our sphere. A lot of us know her. She shared this tweet the other day. Cynthia Erivo's going out there on the press tour, and she's like, "I'm only the second Black Elphaba ever, so this means now we can finally get to the racial element of this story, of this outcast thing." And as Steph pointed out, and I knew this before I read the tweet, but like on Broadway, there have been at least a dozen different Black Elphabas, and they've all been incredible, and none of them have ever come out and been like, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you.
Like we get it. The whole point is it's the color of her skin that people are repulsed by. The story tells itself. It's not subtle. You don't have to point it out every 2 seconds. You don't have to talk about yourself like you're Rosa Parks because you put on green makeup and did this movie.
But then the other thing that happens is when they do this, Marvin, if they stick to the source material, right? And who knows what they're going to do in part 2? You have a better.
They did. I will say in the first movie they did stick very much to the source material. It's
perfect.
You know,
well, like in that regard, as you know from having watched it, and we were talking about it a little earlier. If they follow the source material to its core, you lose that sort of racial oppression message, because Elphaba turns out to be an asshole. Like she's a bad person at its core. So I don't know why we see this all the time with people who want representation so badly. They go, I'm that character. And it's like, do you really think, are you thinking about what that means for your cause? Like your side? It's not good.
And at the end of the day, at the core of it, this is a story about two frenemy women who are fighting over a man.
Can I just? I feel like this plays into why Gladiator has overperformed overseas versus over here. Because our European brothers and sisters don't have the freedom to openly revolt the way we have here.
Yes.
So they're kind of limited into where they're going to resist. And I feel like this could be a little bit of we can't say things without going to jail on the Twitter machine. So we're just not going to give you we're just not going to give you our money as a way of going. Yeah. It's like, we're tired of you talking about this, so I'm just going to stay home. Because it's a bit much. I get it. She's green. I don't care. It's an effing play. You're not Jesus. Stop it.
Well, weren't you going back? going back to your article, or the article we were reading, it was talking about comparing this, to Barbenheimer. Like they wanted Gladiator and Wicked to be like this next big thing. Two drastically different movies, and I'm not really seeing any sort of attention to this. Like it's going to bring in the numbers like Barbie did. They're hyping this thing up like it's the next big girl phenomenon. I'm just not seeing it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But so John JD 99, I want to point out what he said. One of our great mods out there, by the way. Thank you so much, John, for all you do. He says this movie's doing good enough without all of that. I don't see the need for it. Just say, yeah, we have a good movie. Go see it.
Yeah.
I don't think they know how to market that way anymore.
They don't. Everything. It's got to be. It's a cultural revolution. It's always got to be some big, huge thing.
I think they're going to pay for this with the second movie. I don't think people have the stomach for it.
I mean, look, Defying Gravity, Popular, The Wizard and I What Is This Feeling? Those are big, huge songs that really get people moving. Act 2, you've got Thank Goodness, which is like it's an upbeat kind of thing. You've got The Wicked Witch of the East, which is more of a scene than a song, and it's just kind of rehashes of other songs. There's As Long As You're Mine, which is a nice duet, but it's a beautiful duet, but it's not a showstopper. No Good Deed is a showstopper, and then For Good is a beautiful song, but it's not Defying Gravity.
But Marvin, you forgot Wonderful. I think that could be a really good middle showstopper.
I do like Wonderful is probably my favorite song on the show, and I can't believe I forgot it. Jeff Goldblum singing it is either going to be really good or really bad.
Oh, I forgot that no.
Because he sings Sentimental Man in this one, and it's not good.
I was gonna ask you, where does it cut off? Like, is Defying Gravity the last
Defying
song?
Gravity. It cuts off at the end of Act 1. It cuts off at the Act 1 break.
Okay.
And they did some really cool stuff with Defying Gravity. Like they had the flying monkeys chasing her around the Emerald City and stuff. Like it was pretty neat. But
I believe it.
Moving along though, speaking of things that are not as neat, Disney has released a Snow White trailer, but you might have missed it because they didn't actually release it. They put it out in theaters ahead of Wicked and did not put it on YouTube. So
it's still not up.
I think I saw it before Moana 2 when I took my daughters.
Yeah, it's in front of Moana as well. But let's take a look because I want to actually watch this trailer and see.
Like if I Google it right now, Marvin, it gives me the first result is the teaser trailer from Disney's official channel. Like they don't want anybody to see this.
Calling it now. We'll see the Superman trailer come out before Disney actually puts this out themselves.
Here we go.
Why did they make a trailer if they didn't want anyone to see it?
I don't know.
Contract, I bet.
Yeah, maybe.
So here we go. There she is.
This was my father's kingdom. A place of fairness. But the queen changed everything. Take him away, Your Majesty.
What did you?
So the prince is a damsel in distress. The queen takes the queen has locked the prince up.
Is he related to Carrie Elwes?
He does look like him. I can't.
By the way, can I just say she looks perfect? She looks just like the Wicked Queen or the Evil Queen. Just gonna say.
She looks good. I just don't have any faith for the rest of the movie.
I really don't remember you being this.
Yeah, her costuming looks great, honestly.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
Fame is thy beauty,
Magic mirror looks cool.
Good. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
The mirror looks good, and the mirror they use the voice of the mirror that they used in Kingdom Hearts, so I was cool with that.
I thought that was him. Yes. Okay. Good.
Yep. There she is giving bread to the prince.
Shot out of Les Mis.
Yeah.
And I just want to be the fairest of them all.
You
There's
remember
a
what I
lot
said
more
the other
interact.
night?
What was that, Lon?
You remember what I said the other night?
I do, and I want you to say it again in a second.
The queen is evil. You must flee into the woods.
My parents always said this forest was a magical.
That turtle is horrifying.
Oh, all of these things are, man. All
Yeah.
of these are. They look
This looks like an AI art background.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice for Mitch McConnell to get some work though.
It does kind of look like him.
That actually does really, really look like him. That's kind of creepy.
I just think that the American people have decided for our next Supreme Court justice, we gotta wait.
The thing is, this turtle isn't freezing.
About that one.
I love how Martin will be
was that,
silent
Lauren?
for minutes and then just.
I was saying the thing is that this turtle isn't freezing.
It's correct.
Nice.
She lets all these vermin into the house.
Anybody here?
Oh, and
There's
here they
some
come.
things that just do not translate well to live action.
Like this.
Yeah.
Oh my
exactly.
God.
I hate these things so much. They
They
look
are
so
they
bad.
They are strikingly horrifying.
These guys look like they're about
I
to
love
sell
that,
me
Marvin.
cookies
I
in a
love-
holiday commercial.
The long johns, like guys, the CGI in Shrek in 2001 looked better than that.
Do we know what the costumes look like from when Disney paid all the midgets to dress like the dwarves at the premiere, and then they left them up there with food and wine, but no way to leave, so they were all drunk and.
Are you talking about like back
roasting
in the
heat.
day?
Yeah. Like,
I have never heard that. That's hilarious. Hell
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
F them
I-
dwarfs. F them dwarfs.
Yeah, I'll find the story for you, but the long and short of it is at the movie premiere, they paid a bunch of midgets to be dressed as the seven dwarves to wave to the parents who were coming to the premiere. Disney just left a bunch of food and like, here, we're gonna leave you some wine, but it was really hot and they didn't have a way to get them down. They needed to get down by ladders. Halfway through, so we're talking about all the later showings. The dwarves are hot, they're drunk, they get out of the costumes, and for the rest of the night, it's just a bunch of foul-mouthed midgets screaming at all the parents and the kids.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
There is a wonderful madcap comedy to be made about the insanity of getting Snow White onto the screen that way.
Oh, goodness. All right. Moving ahead.
It's a human. What did you think I was? Nothing goes.
That's horrifying.
You'll be safe from the Queen here.
The Queen stole everything from all of us.
What?
I'm gonna need your help.
Okay, so here she is in her red cape, arriving to lead a socialist revolution in Germany.
Okay.
It's time to restore our kingdom.
And this song sounds dumb. Why wouldn't you use one of the classic songs in the trailer?
Oh man, that one sounds so bad. Well, because they want to show off their original stuff, and
What?
this is.
And this is a girl power song because she said, "Close my eyes and see the girl I meant to be."
Marvin, if you watch any live action Disney remake, every new song is a girl boss power song. Like,
yeah,
the Aladdin one still makes me really angry. Did you guys see that one?
Oh, Speechless.
I have no idea what it's called, but it's like Naomi Scott sings it twice when she's like, when her dad's like,
I
"Who married
won't
your
be
father?" And she's
silent.
like, yeah.
You won't
And then,
keep me quiet.
here's
Song
them
kinda slaps,
cutting
though.
themselves again because they have those two moments where Naomi Scott's like, "I won't be silenced. I will do what I want," and then she cuts back from her daydreaming into reality and just goes along with whatever she was supposed to do because that's what she has to do. And I'm like, this movie's awful.
Here's Snow White leading the revolution against the Queen.
And now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
It's the girl, the character who, by the way, if you will remember, was scared of the trees in the forest in the original, is facing down two spears fearlessly.
You're saying.
I'm sorry, my dear. Did I frighten you?
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, so Disney was afraid of exactly this. The look at this. This is just like somebody just uploading it to their channel with 33 subscribers and 259 likes to 2.6k dislikes. By the way, dislike.
23,000 views.
Yeah.
At the end there, is that actually Gal Gadot speaking in an American accent?
I think
because
so.
that was decent for those 3 words.
Yeah. Right. Guys,
Can we watch
Lauren,
the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer instead? It's right
we're
there.
going
It looks
we're
a lot
going
better.
to we're going to next.
Yes.
Lauren, you made a really good point the other day about what you think is going to happen in this movie, and I want you to share it.
Yeah, my suspicion is because they're showing Snow White as a liberator in this, and you've seen her passing food through to the imprisoned prince, that they're going to do a role reversal on this by having her not take the bite out of the apple, but she takes the apple from the disguised evil queen, passes it through to the prince, who is the one who gets put to sleep. And she's there to liberate and wake him up so that he can take control of the kingdom and rule it justly, because obviously he wasn't able to do so before he had her help to show her what a princely being should be doing.
You know what, Lauren?
Possible.
And I think you're 100% right, because think about the fact that one of the most iconic scenes from the original Snow White is her in the glass coffin, and we have not seen that yet.
Yep, and I guarantee you that she
It's
will
not gonna
not be
happen.
kissing him to wake him up. She'll probably get a bucket of water in the face.
Yeah, and slapping him or something.
So from the viewpoint of Zegler, does that mean now that she is stalking him instead?
No, I think what she's doing is saying that he's been a lousy patriarchal ruler who's been asleep while the kingdom went to crap because he wasn't standing up to the evil queen. Now that she's been deposed, he's going to be the ruler, but she's going to be the power behind the throne, the advisor who really knows how to run it in a just way, because she's the fairest of them all.
I see what you were saying, Nolan.
Yep,
Because
and
it's
in,
Rachel being
in,
like, ugh.
and this fair is not going to mean beautiful. It's going to mean fair and just, and because
I hate
again,
that.
again, I believe that this mirror is just really tired of this narcissist coming up to it every day and being like, "Tell me I'm pretty," and then one day it's just like, "No, you know what? No, you're not. This Lord Farquaad looking girl over here, she's the prettier one. How about that? How you like those apples, lady?" It's all powerful mirror, and all you do is ask it to tell you how pretty you are. But Lauren, I understand you have to leave us.
Yep. Time for me to take off. Trish, happy birthday. I hope you had a great one. And I had fun with everybody on the panel. Hope everybody in the chat's doing great. See you all soon.
See you, Lauren.
Bye,
Thank you
Lauren.
very much.
Bye, Lauren.
Guys, make sure you're checking out Lauren on X and on YouTube. He's currently reading Shadows of the Empire. Lauren Connor 9030 on YouTube. Lauren Connor on X. And, of course, check him out on the Genre Guys with Lou Wasserman's Ghost and a Hangry Table over on the WDW Pro channel. And then those for members. And then it goes on to that Pod Place T3PO channel 90 days after release. Thank you very much, Lauren.
You got it all. Great job, buddy. See you soon.
I remember all your plugs now. All right, guys. Now that we've watched that trailer, I mean, it was just so bad, right? Like, it's really, really bad.
I can't get past the hair. I know that it's accurate, but it looks
It's
horrendous.
what?
The hair.
I'm a little boy.
Oh, it does look like that.
Yes, it does, my dear.
Berries and cream.
I loved that commercial.
I'm a little boy who likes berries and cream.
Oh. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Let's move on to a different trailer that I wanted to watch with us today. We saw a bad trailer, so now let's watch a good trailer.
Nature is healing.
Yeah, nature is indeed healing, because we have a second official trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Which, I mean, by the way, did anybody else realize, Spencer Nolan, you guys might have realized this. We had the Knuckles series earlier this year. 2024 is literally the year of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
I will never unhear that. The rest of this year is going to be the best year ever for me now. Thank you.
All right, so let's take a look at Sonic the Hedgehog and what they got going on over there.
Here we go. Showtime.
What?
You've got me right away. You got me right away because you put the chow in there.
Ciao.
And it's the Chow Garden too. That's so clever.
Who's your buddy?
Is this Den of Madness?
Are you Detective Pikachu?
He does look like a Pokemon.
We get a Pokemon reference.
Is it? Okay, I'm so torn on this because it works and it makes sense, and I have like no actual problem with the content of that joke, but it something in my brain like fails to fire when I try to think like Sega property making Nintendo
100%.
joke. Like,
yes,
What
get
you're missing here, Spencer, is Sonic's PTSD he has from Smash Bros.
I know from the
Ultimate when he failed
Smash.
to-
when
he
he
failed to
watched
say Pikachu.
Pikachu get vaporized.
Mm-hmm.
Pika Pika.
Wait, I didn't realize he did a Pika Pika there.
Detective Pikachu?
He does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika.
Konichi, what? Get down!
I love it so much.
It's time, Shadow.
Oh, so good.
Fine. We will have our.
Look how good he looks, the way he
looks
skates
so
in.
awesome.
It makes
And
sense.
Keanu is doing
sounds perfect.
He's owning it.
And it makes sense. The animation's so good because isn't the director of this? Didn't he work on the Shadow the Hedgehog cutscenes back in the day?
Did he?
I think he did. I think it's either the director or one of the animation leads.
I love the way his eyes are glowing.
Revenge. But what good is a dastardly plot if you can't conspire with family?
So now they've got Gerald. They got Gerald and Ivo Robotnik together in this one. Look, here's my problem with this trailer. At the end of the day, we all knew Eggman was going to turn on Sonic, but they kind of spoiled that now.
There's two.
He turned on
Eggmen
Sonic at the end of the last.
W villains, W
Yeah.
fun. Any last words?
Nice magic marble, real scary.
I think this is my one problem so far with the trailer is that it feels this whole bit where the Robotniks have the trio captured and Shadow's there, blah blah blah. It just feels too much like the setup to when they introduced Knuckles.
I was literally just going to make that point, Spencer. It feels because with having Robotnik with the creature that can match Sonic, it feels like the second one over again.
Creature that can match Sonic. They're sort of standing above them physically, like they're on a higher like cliff or whatever. It's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
I think, but that's how we all felt when Shadow got introduced. If you were of a certain age and played Sonic.
No, because Shadow was a hedgehog and Knuckles was an echidna, and they at least in the adventure games they at least started differentiating Knuckles. They were like, okay, we'll make Knuckles the weird digger guy. I said dig.
Yes, you did.
You beat me to it.
Yes, you did. You said D with a hard D. Okay, here's my thing now. Like, more of these two, can we not? Like, there's enough going on in this where I don't need his human sidekicks again.
I like those two. I don't like the ant.
Well, guess what? She's back.
I know she's back.
Excuse me.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super dangerous top secret mission.
We're in.
Are you ready?
There she was.
I know. I want her gone.
Everybody
They're
does.
there for the casual.
When they
parents
gave
who
her, when they gave her 20 minutes of the last movie.
Yeah.
When we're, I guess we're like, man, it's really expensive animating this hedgehog and fox and echidna. So we need to take a 20-minute break where it's just two black ladies having an adventure.
No, they probably shot the one wedding scene they needed for when Sonic like pops out of the portal with the snow.
Yeah.
And then they called Universal and they were like, you better film more stuff or we're not paying you. We're not paying your expenses. This is ridiculous.
It literally felt like a studio executive was like, there's not enough women doing things in this movie.
That's exactly what it is.
We need more women doing things.
I literally think most of the human characters are here at this point just to be like a bridge for like the parents who don't want to see like cartoon hedgehogs throughout the whole movie. So it's like, hey, here's a bridge. Here's some.
But they're not.
jokes.
The only human character in this that's entertaining is Jim Carrey.
But they don't. The executives don't understand that.
It's for the mom who didn't want to bring the kid here. That's why.
Bingo.
That's why what's his name is there. Shamar Moore.
I was gonna say, woo, Shamar Moore. Yeah, just wait for the older women.
We were born ready.
All right, boys. Try.
I like Tails having a little rocket pack.
Come on, Granddaddy-O.
Okay, now let me ask you guys something. This scene here, doesn't it look like something's missing?
Yeah.
They took a character out of the trailer.
Yeah.
It's probably Rouge.
Chaos.
Omega.
What if it's Rouge?
It's
my
either Rouge,
gosh.
Amy, or somebody we will never see coming.
We're not
I
going to
could
have
actually. That's a great theory because if it's Rouge, because she's already been seen as kind of a how do we market this to bring parents to the movie and still maintain the character. If they hide her in the trailers and just kind of spring her in last minute, well, they've already bought the ticket, so that could actually work.
Or I think maybe last minute they're going to do a Rouge trailer where they're going to introduce Rouge. But because it definitely looks in this shot like there's a character standing here that they've
this
digitally
is the last
removed.
trailer, though.
Oh, is
This
it?
the last one? Yeah.
Interesting.
We've got dirt to do. With Shadow's power, we can rule humanity.
Oh, hold on. Did you see that? What he was wearing?
Yes.
He's in the full-on Eggman costume
Dude,
now.
I was going to make this point when we got here. Jim Carrey's Eggman is the very first character in the history of cinema to be de-MCU-ified as time goes on.
In what way? Like he just became his cartoon self?
Exactly. Like look at his original one, right? He had the red coat, sure, but he still had like the curly mustache and he still had hair and he looked more like Jim Carrey. Then in the last one he went bald, but they still kept him relatively like humanish. And now here he's just full Eggman. He's got like the weird Fifth Element frilly coat, big white patches, the white he went full Eggy.
The circles, and then in the long tails too. He's got the long tails on the coat also.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Also, look at the reflection in that
Disgusting.
scene.
England.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing they're coming from space because if you saw in the close-up there, you can actually see Earth reflected, or Morbius, whatever you want to call it, in the reflection. Whereas in the trailer, they're lining it up to be in England. What's that?
No, he meant Mobius.
I know he meant Mobius, but I was.
Mobius.
I was
Sorry.
poking,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
It's Morbin time, baby.
Left to rule.
Is that the Space Colony arc? Because that looks like the Space Colony arc.
He's about to do the thing on the moon.
That is dark.
Oh, he is doing the thing on the moon.
Better call Google Maps.
Life's all the choices we make.
Maria.
He's gonna
Remember, listen to
die.
your heart. You're gonna make the right choice when it matters the most.
I like that we get Shadow with the gun on the motorcycle.
Yeah, the gun's a nice touch. They didn't have to do it, but they did.
No.
One head down to another. Who does your highlights?
The more you talk, the harder I want to hit you.
I like that. I like that line.
This ends now.
That's definitely the arc.
Awaits. You were right about one thing. This ends now.
They're giving away the whole dang movie, but I'm still gonna see it.
We haven't
They're
seen the
only
Bio
giving it away
Lizard.
'cause you know Sonic Adventure 2. This scene. Movies are fun again.
Yeah. This movie looks so good, guys. I'm so excited for it. It's like, and it's coming out directly against the Mufasa movie that nobody wants.
It's
gonna kill it.
White lion colonizers.
Yes, the white colonizer lions.
They released a still photo for Mufasa, and it was like, check out the new look at Mufasa. And I'm just like, this is stupid. Like, what even is this? It's a CGI shot of lions just standing there. Go away.
And we can all literally do that on our PCs right now.
Well, how
There's like
about
a live. There are live cams all over Africa where I can go look like an animal sanctuary and be like, "There's a lion."
How about the fact that what do you call it? They keep putting Pumbaa and Timon in like every trailer and every commercial, and I'm like, they're not in the movie. Like they'll be in the beginning and they'll be in the end, but like they're like it's a prequel. Pumbaa and Timon are not going to be in it, and you're giving me Seth Rogen Pumbaa is making me want to see this less.
No, you find out when you go to see the movie, it's actually just like Lion King 1.5. They're just commentating throughout the whole Mufasa thing because they realized it was going to be a dud. So they're like, how do we save this movie? Have them commentate it, see if it works.
Has anybody said, how do we save this movie? I know. Let's get more of the stoner dude who hasn't had a successful movie in years.
Yes. You know what? I honestly, Sonic 3 is going to blow this movie out of the water. It's already being projected at about $50 million opening, which is about right for one of these movies. Here's the thing. I don't think the Sonic movie is going to make $1 billion because they never do. They usually top off around 300, but they cost about 100 to make.
Budgeting.
So
you're right. And I don't think you're completely off base, but I also think this movie has a lot going for it that the others didn't. Like the others were pandemic movies, the others were new IP coming, quote unquote, new IP coming to theaters. This one is not only like we've had a huge Sonic renaissance since Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but this is also Sonic Adventure 2, and a lot of people I think are going to turn out for that.
Yeah, John Williams put here, live and learn or we riot. I have a feeling it's going to happen.
Please get Johnny from Crush 40 involved some way in this movie. I want to hear his vocals at least once.
The
please.
entire soundtrack just has to be different motifs on Live and Learn, like a sad one, a happy upbeat one, a romantic one. Don't want any other music but that.
Give like Amy's song, but do that with like Live and Learn, make it all jazzy and poppy.
I'm surprised.
Exactly, but it's still Live and Learn.
I am shocked, legitimately shocked that we have not gotten Amy yet.
Like, I was upset we didn't get more of
too.
the underwater dying music in the second movie.
Oh, the childhood anxiety music, you mean?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, guys, very, very exciting. I'm trying to think. Do we want to end there, or do we want to talk about the fact that Disney's destroying them up? We'll save that.
It's time to make it happen.
Yeah, it's time to dim.
We'll never turn on the lights.
You want to talk about Man at Arms?
Oh, we could discuss that briefly. I don't have an article for it yet, but we can talk about the fact that for the Masters of the Universe movie, they have cast Idris Elba as Man at Arms.
Another redhead dies.
And, and
Two,
another ginger sacrificed on the altar of race swap.
Tila can't be a ginger.
But Tila is his adopted daughter, right?
I thought Tila was actually his. Oh no, but no. Or can we discuss this without giving away spoilers to a 50-year-old IP?
I don't think you have to worry about that. I think I think this has been a I think the grace period has expired.
Yeah, it's like because I'm of two minds about this. Like I remember, in the 90s, early 2000s, where we race swapped characters because the casting was cool. Like we were never going to find another human being built like the Kingpin, so we got Michael Clark Duncan to do it, and it was kind of cool,
right?
But now we're in an environment where it gets done so much, you have an automatic visceral reaction to it, and I'm like, Idris Elba would be a pretty effing cool Man at Arms, I think. It's just we've gone through so much of this that like I've seen people on the internet have like a temper tantrum, but I'm like, I don't know. It's cool.
It's Idris Elba, and he might actually be best for the role. Like he's gonna be awesome at it, but I agree it's tiresome to have all the race swaps. But I find myself unable to be super angry about anything Idris Elba.
He seems like a chill dude.
Yeah.
Who's playing Fisto?
We don't know yet.
We don't know much about it. We don't even know who's playing He-Man.
We know this movie was supposed to be a Netflix thing. Then it was supposed to be an Amazon thing. That was supposed to come out 2 to 3 years ago. And that the two He-Mans that they casted previously are no longer He-Man.
Well, as long as Kevin Smith has nothing to do with this, I'm fine with it. Because he needs to stay far away from this.
He'll have a cameo.
But hey, shout out to a previous He-Man. We found out pretty recently that Dolph Lundgren recovered from cancer.
Yes, good for you, Dolph Lundgren. We're very happy for you, kicking cancer's butt. I must break you now, he said to the cancer.
He dies.
He did. He did not say that.
If he leaves, he leaves.
All right. Well, guys, I think that brings us to the end of the show tonight. Trish, as far as birthdays have gone, how has this one been?
I'm just kidding. It was good.
Wow, thanks, Trish. The last time I do anything for
You
you.
teed that one up for me to be a
Yeah.
pain about. No, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh well, do you doing anything special for it this weekend or?
Not particularly. I usually get sushi because it's my favorite food. But since today is Black Friday, I was like, I ain't going out all that. So,
What kind of what's your favorite kind of sushi? Like, what do you do? Sushi, sashimi?
Well, I like sashimi, but I really like salmon sashimi. So I
Yeah.
usually get something involving that. Yeah.
Like a
I
rainbow
like tuna
roll or
too.
something?
Yeah, something like that. Like there's one at a place I like to go to that's got I forget what the roll on the inside is, but it's topped with salmon or tuna, and then like it's got I don't mind fish roe. I know that's kind of like for a lot of people, but it's got like caviar on it and stuff.
Well,
so
someday,
caviar, you know.
someday when we all get together down here, Trish, I will take you to there's a couple of sushi places down here that are conveyor belt sushi restaurants. Where literally the food comes by you on conveyor
Where you
belts.
go
just
into
take-
debt.
Yes.
Like a leaf battle.
Yes, you like if you bring Kevin Apollo there, then you're taking a second mortgage out on your house because each plate you
Honestly.
charge per plate.
I don't like the sushi.
Oh my.
Robbery.
But
Let me tell you something. I used to go. I think I've told this story before, but I used to go with Kevin to Red Robin when they had their when they had their bottomless fries special going on, and I think the entire company rethought their strategy because of Kevin Apollo lunches once a week.
He's Homer.
Yeah, because he was Homer at the all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet.
I'm blind. I
I
asked
should
a waitress
tell you-
there one time, what's the most orders of fries she ever brought somebody. She said it was a dozen refills of the fries, and the guy had 4 root beer floats.
Wow.
I mean, the root beer floats are like, it's almost weirdly worse to me. Like, I can't imagine having 4 root beer floats. Like, ugh.
It's 4 scoops of ice cream.
Yeah,
the root beer float's only supposed to be
Heavy.
1 scoop of ice cream.
Like, ugh. Maybe that's just me.
Now I want a root beer float.
Yeah.
I want fries.
We should tell the next time we're together. We should tell the Kodiak Bear goes to the Chinese restaurant story.
Oh God, yeah. Hey, you big boy, you don't come here no more. All right, Nolan Thunder, tell folks more about where they can find you and everything that you're up to.
Well, you can find me on this channel called Nolan Thunder. You see, it's in the name right there, right there. So you can see me talking about lost media, internet mysteries, video game mysteries. If it's digital and it has a mystery, I'm talking about that thing. It's a mix of documentary, B-movie horror, although I don't think it's going to be as cool as Microwave Massacre that Lauren was talking about, but it's still pretty cool. It's got some comedy in there too. So if you like these little documentary stuff with horror aspects to it, please check out my channel. It's a lot of fun. And I also do a show with this guy who will probably tell a bit more about it.
Yeah, Martin, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd love to. Noel and I and Hangry Table, we do the Lost Guys. We just had Trish on, as people who were watching the stream at the beginning know. We just did a video, probably should be out in a few weeks, on what some people consider to be the worst music video ever to be played on MTV. So we had a blast with that. Nolan had the pick coming up, and he's super happy with what we've picked. I'm not going to give it away because I want you all to find out with each other. That's over on That Park Place. It's a members exclusive series we do.
And Spencer Baculi, where can folks find out more about you and all the wonderful things that you're up to?
That's me. You can check me out over on boundingintocomics.com, where we're putting up news every day. You can check me out on my own YouTube channel, Kabuto Studios, and you can just generally find me around That Park Place. I'm popping into streams here and there and everywhere. So follow me, follow everybody here, and Trish, go to bed.
Yeah, okay.
Kevin Apollo, we've got a pay-per-view stream tomorrow. I'm not sure if you're going to make it for that, but we've got the Survivor Series at 6 p.m. tomorrow, I believe.
That's tomorrow?
Yeah.
It feels late. Isn't it usually like a little
War
bit?
Games. Yeah. Well, yeah, usually it's a little bit.
I mean, I don't know
earlier, but
anymore, but
I kind of like that it's Thanksgiving weekend. It's kind of like a classic throwback to when it was on Thanksgiving.
yeah. I remember those.
But we got that going on tomorrow over at Tooneytown Wrestling. You got anything else going on? Any wrestling shows to plug? Any personal projects?
I don't know. I just started. Did a audiobook download of the Epic of Gilgamesh. I'm going to revisit that. Haven't done that in a long time.
Oh, fantastic!
Let's see. I have a wrestling show, Santa Slam 3 Winter Breakout, on December 28th at the Haverstown.
So fantastic!
I wish I could see these.
I will live stream it. I figured out how to stream it off of the ACW Instagram. So
good.
ACW. Hold on a second.
Heck yes.
I have so many things, but hold on. I will see it right here. If my Instagram, okay, ACW _ Coliseum, the Pokemon Coliseum spelling.
That's not complicated at all.
EUM.
All right, guys, and for me, for me again, guys, check out the pay-per-view stream tomorrow for Survivor Series over on Tooneytown Wrestling, starting at 6 p.m. We'll probably go live around 5:30 p.m. Just to get started with all that's going on. It's going to be a huge night because there are not one but 2 War Games matches. Whether there should be or not is another matter all entirely. But yeah, check that out. We're going to be super excited to bring that to you. And of course, also check out Tooneytown TV. We only got one regular video up this week because it was kind of a weird holiday week. What was that, Trish? What are you doing?
I just want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out with me on my birthday and just being cool, and that's all. Because you were clearly going to forget about me, so I just wanted to get it in there.
We already did it. We talked about
the
the beginning of the plugs. We talked to you about your birthday.
No, you went for
the whole sushi conversation.
You went just like this: Nolan, Martin, Spencer, Kevin, you. That's the order.
No, I went. You, Nolan, Martin, Spencer, Kevin.
You just said about my birthday.
He did start with you.
No,
I did. How did you enjoy your birthday, Trish? That's what he asked first.
That's not going. What are you up to?
Yeah. What about crime and punishment?
Listen,
All right.
Nolan and Kevin are with me. They noticed it too.
Okay, Trish. What do you got to plug? I didn't think you had a plug.
I just
Chiefs
wanted to
stay
say
together.
thank you to everybody.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted a moment to say thank you to everybody for showing up.
Well, you're welcome.
I don't know
Trish.
what Spencer said, but I'm sure it was mean about me.
hurtful.
So I'm sure it
I
was.
said Chiefs stick together. This was a pro Marvin statement. It had nothing to do with you.
well, in this instance, that's anti me. So, like I said,
But when is anything I say not that?
that's fair. That's a fair point.
No, this was fun. I was glad to present a more Trish-centric show. Hopefully, we could do more of those kinds of things in the future. And guys, check out
Supernatural
Crime
watch
and
through, coming
Punishment
up.
on. Yeah,
One
we have 2
day.
episodes. We have 2 episodes of our true crime podcast, Crime and Punishment, where Trish walks me through some of the darkest, weirdest, worst aspects of humanity. We actually both tear up in the last episode. So yeah. But yes, Trish, anything else you want? Anything else you're up to? Anything else you want to discuss?
I just wanted to be nice and say thank you to everybody. That's everyone in the chat, everyone on the panel. Just thank you for showing up and hanging out on my birthday. It was fun.
We are all super thrilled to be able to do that, guys.
Nolan.
So there was one Tooneytown TV video this week. It was kind of a weird week because it was a holiday week, so I didn't get a lot out there. But thank you to everybody who showed up yesterday for our Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade stream. That was so successful that it's definitely happening again next year. And of course, guys, make sure you check it out at bookmarkingthatparkplace.com for daily news, for all the news that should be fun. Well, that does it for this week. We'll see you guys back at our normal night and time next Thursday at 8 p.m. EST. For all of us here at the Tooneytown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here! Now, Betty the Platypus, feel the wrath of my thank you-inator!
Thank you, you piece of trash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you!
Oh, I suppose you want me to say thank you. Well, you know what? Saying thank you is like jobbing. Thank you!
I got a little message. Thank you.
Ooh, yeah!
Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
Thanks? For what?
Hi-ho from all of us here at Tooneytown. Thank you!
And viewers like you. Thank you.